Absolute going under BR, one shot. Absolute. Nice. Nice.
I got sniped.
Scamming.
Dead. Sniping down our bomb tower.
Sniping the tower.
Sniping down our bomb tower. I think he's going for it. On it. Mini. Go back to the side.
You one shot, guys.
You went pillars, going to the bomb tower, Mini. Push up. Push. They're top tower sniping.
Looking out left.
I'm watching right, Meg. I'm watching right.
Pillars.
I'm watching right. He's weak on you. Watch out, Mike.
Watch out to the base. Watch out to the base, Manny. Watch out to the base.
Pushing right.
You guys hear me on Obi? 50.
Yeah, Obi, guys. Obi.
Watch out
Watch out the bottom tower. Watch out the bottom tower.
Right wing, right 2.
Absolute under the tower.
2 shot. OB in 10. OB in 10.
Sniping the rec steps.
Hear that.
The best you can.
I'm
OB guys. Obi's the ball here. Obi's the ball here. Get in ring, Donnie. Get in ring. Nice, Joey.
Bottom basement, maybe sniping.
2 dead, guys. 2 dead. Can't go for it. Cannot go for it.
They're over. They're flying.
Look at
Donnie,
pillars.
good shit, Donnie.
Top tower, guys.
Yeah, 2 top tower, guys.
Watch out, bottom tower.
Bottom. I'm one shot.
Absolute bottom tower.
Hella guys tower.
Absolute bottom tower. Our side. Dead.
I'm in as well.
2 shot pillars to the bomb, probably.
Yeah. One.
Watch out,
Top tower.
Donnie,
Top tower. Above you. Donnie. Above you.
Watch out top tower on you.
Yeah, top tower still, just sitting there.
I'm looking at Donnie. I'm looking at it. I'm pushing
Top tower.
I'm split out, so I'm here.
He's on me.
He's 2 shot on tower. Dead. I'm looking at the back steps.
on me.
Basement 2 shot.
Top tower again.
Yeah, look at top tower.
Top tower 1. Talik. Dead. There's Spiral.
Hey, back steps.
Steps weak.
BR weak. Bottom BR weak.
Joey might be able to get flagged.
Bottom BR weak. I'm dying to snipe.
Jump on beer me.
On me. Under the base. Under the base. Kill me.
Nice, two dead.
The coverage is insane from FaZe Clan. The comms are perfect as the flag is moving yet again, and it looks like this is going to be an easy 3-0. What a perfect way to start this winners final for FaZe Clan as they demolish TSM.
Absolutely flawless. Didn't even require that many kills. 3 opportunities, 3 flag captures. We talked about starting slow, and how about starting hot? FaZe Clan really pushing the pace. Just being absolutely dominant.
And you heard the communication coming from Royal One as well. Overshield is our priority here. Every single time that overshield spawns, it can be the difference maker on Fortress. Even if it's just to regain some control of the map, which is what happened there for FaZe, right? They were losing a little bit of control. TSM was starting to step up, but Suppress gets that overshield. He's able to push the tower players. He's able to force them back, and they regain control of the opposition tower. And from then, TSM are just pinned back to the wall, pinned back to their spawns yet again. And it was simple as you like. FaZe made that look easy. Maybe a little bit concerning for TSM fans, but sometimes that's how Fortress can go, especially when FaZe are playing in that way. I mean, Trippy was just walking into the base, dealing damage, and just running flags for free.
It was pretty easy when you have overshield. You just walk straight through upon fire and scoop up a flag, it would seem. But the communication was so key for me, listening to it. There was call-outs coming, but the more impressive thing is when you call out a player top tower, you then hear your teammate go, I'm looking. So not only is he listening, he's now acting on that call-out. The boys were comfortable there. Almost too comfortable for TSM, like it.
You have to be worried if you are TSM here with how FaZe were playing. It was just like you mentioned, the sheer support that was coming out of every member of FaZe, always turning to prioritize the most important damage that is on the map. And even though I was speaking about Trippy and capping flags, don't forget, Penguin arguably was the quickest flag capper that we had last season in terms of getting it from point A to point B. When you have both of them on one team now,
what chance do you have?
It's terrifying to go up against them. We'll really have to see whether TSM can answer back here, because boy, do they need a response. Good news for them. It's a Slayer, and they are currently unbeaten on Slayers so far this tournament, 8-0. But I have to be honest, if FaZe win this one, I think it might be the series. If you can take down TSM in their best mode in the winners final, it's very easy for TSM to get down on themselves here. So I feel a must win for TSM here on Slayer Live Fire.
On the cards then, an opportunity for TSM to get themselves back into the series after a very quick and dominant display from FaZe in Game 1. You feel this one's important, massive in fact. A dagger to the heart that TSM loses, considering their map record 8-0 here. Is it to be one of those days yet again for TSM? The narrative will spin that way unless they get the job done. On board with Talik, firing towards Penguin top tower.
Saw some stats there from Soul Snipe and Trippy, who are going to be very important for just ensuring some support perhaps, but Talik is going to be where my eyes are going to be heading for this game. The one who maybe needs to step up, but Penguin's going to perfect him from behind. Need your main Slayers really to be applying some business to this game if you're going to be finding victory. And the same can be said for Falcate on the side of FaZe Clan.
Camouflage and sniper rifle now for suppressed. An opportunity to be a real force on the map. Playing this one patiently, hasn't moved, but he's been spotted out. Managed to land the body before falling. Camo and sniper not getting that much value. That's good news for TSM. They are down by 4. Make it 3 now. Both teams ready kills, ready damage, back and forth we go. The early innings. Only 2 kills separate us now. Soul Snipe, this is your moment to take over. Drive your team forward. Be the player that they know you can be. Plant your feet here and start hitting some shots.
Falcate couldn't plant his feet, very much off the map. 10-10. A good comeback from TSM after an early start from FaZe Clan, and I really think it was important they prioritized finding that sniper rifle that Suppressed had with the camouflage as well. Soul Snipe needs to hit some headshots here to help the team.
First one's a swing and a miss. Second one connects. Beautiful. Double kill. Rolling. Triple kill. This is it. Is Soul Snipe about to hit final form?
I mean, Soul Snipe, when he gets going, he's called Soul Snipe for a reason, taking the souls of players with the sniper rifle. He was just listening to his teammates there, waiting to see where those one-shots were. 3-kill lead now for FaZe, as they're a little bit on the back foot. See, they're all trying to make their way around towards Camo now with that coming up in 20 seconds, but is it an early move for Camouflage? Because if they start to lose players here, TSM might really be able to roll with momentum and take that Camo away from them.
Soul Snipe just wants to get his shields back. Let him play the game, folks. Suppress, close the distance, gets the kill. That early setup for Camouflage hasn't really gone the way FaZe Clan would have liked. Now Manny's pushing forward. Quantum translocator will just dissipate now. Have the pistol scooped up. Soul Snipe firing over towards Cuts. He does have that camouflage. He's playing SWAT for now. Almost gave Suppressed the wiggles. 2 more shots would have got the kill, but he is shut down early. 2 kills, the point of difference.
FaZe trying to move as a unit. Sniper's going to be the next focus for them. Trippy's not usually the player who picks up that sniper rifle, so you want to play ahead of the sniper. You want to try and stop TSM finding angles towards it. Trippy's going to actually go for a backstab here.
Couple of shots go down. The problem is they now know where he is. 2 players turn, then spin on a dime. But his teammates elsewhere, getting the damage done. Perfectly played by Trippy. Didn't even have to get the kill. He just had to keep the attention of 2 players away from his teammates.
Yeah, he did enough to allow Falcate to get the sniper rifle. However, Manny had spotted him out, and now he gets the sniper as a reward. Very close back and forth game 2 here. These snipers just aren't able to stay alive. Trippy says, well, I remember that you had sniper rifle. You must have been around here somewhere. Now it is time for Big Game Trip to try and do something with the S7.
A slight lull. There's a war happening a little bit far away from Trippy here. He's going to have to get a move on. He obliges. Sitting top middle, Colin applies pressure. Beautiful body shot by Trippy though. That will just back him down. The consistency in which these top players hit body shots, so impressive. Soul Snipe falls. Here comes Druk. He's got 2 members of FaZe Clan facing him up. He's desperately trying to stay alive here. Settled for a trade. That's good for Druk.
Penguin now just making sure he stays alive. One thing that FaZe have been very good at this game is when TSM seem to have a little bit of control, they just back up, cower away a little bit and wait for them to get aggressive and try and catch one of them off guard. 29-29, I mean, this is so even in the moment. You can't split these 2.
Game's on the knife's edge. Colin doesn't clear his corner, slides in. Penguin gets a free kill. Does get traded out very quickly though.
13 kills for Soul Snipe. Trippy does have the sniper rifle though. 3 bullets to work with. See, he's just pinging across because this camouflage is going to be a big one. TSM can get hold of it. He might be able to start to just run away with things a little bit. Trippy knows that his bullets are going to be so key to try and stop them. You can see he's just hovering, waiting to see if anyone goes for it, but suppressed on the other side. Now the push does come through.
3 dead for a moment for TSM. Trippy still has that sniper rifle. 3 bullets to play with. Now pops the camouflage. Is this the beginning of the end? If Trippy can start hitting some shots. He's got some players isolated on Big Door. It's a free one. And he's down to no shield. Suppress should be there to get the kill. He doesn't, he falls. And he lasts live for his team, and he's going to try and disappear now and wait for his teammates to spawn back up. But you can see Trippy trying to find him. Should have the audio cue to his players below him. Manny taken care of. 4-kill advantage now for FaZe Clan. And is the moment just starting to get to TSM? Is this starting to slip away?
The drug's just gone down as well. Soul Snipe falls. Manny's going to be the next target. And this is the first time we've seen a gap like this, and FaZe will want to increase it. Manny falls. Killing spree now. It's a 7-kill lead. This is going to be so tough for TSM to get back. Are we going to see this unbeaten record on Slayers start to fall in front of our very eyes?
There was something Wes noticed and talked about. The quality of teams FaZe Clan played in those Slayers was a little bit higher than TSM's. They're playing against one of the big dogs now. And Suppress might even start barking with these shots he's connecting. Tolik over towards Nest, backs away for a moment. Suppress is happy to play this one patiently. Penguin lands a grenade at Tolik's feet as well. Is the occasion too big for TSM right now? 3 kills required for FaZe Clan to close out game 2.
It would have to be one of the biggest comebacks we've seen so far this weekend on Slayer, especially at this stage of the game when only now 2 kills are required for FaZe Clan. Suppress can't get the job done with a sniper rifle. Will give it away. Is there a little bit of hope left for TSM, or is this one done and dusted? An 8-kill game, make it a 10-kill game now as Trippy puts the final bullet into him. And FaZe Clan 1 map away now from reaching the grand finals here at DreamHack Dallas for the HCS Open.
Was close in the early knock-ins, and even in the mid-game. But FaZe Clan just started to pull away. Camouflage and sniper rifles really helped their cause. TSM really struggled from then on out. They had moments, Soul Snipe, try as he might. But now, it's a very daunting task, Dan. They have to win 3 back-to-back-to-back.
17 kills for Soul Snipe, as you mentioned. He did try, but it's the consistency on the side of FaZe, as everyone had a good game in that one. Again, they were working together so well, moving as a unit like a wolf pack, shutting down TSM. I remember at one point it was 31-31. I was considering going for a listening into TSM, and then suddenly you see Trippy pick up the sniper rifle, and suddenly they get the next camouflage, and it just started to snowball out of control in favor of FaZe Clan. And Trippy really has been the man of the series so far. It's another 4.3k damage from him in that game. Sadly, when players like this are in this kind of form, like, how do you stop them? How do you shut them down? Because now Trippy and the rest of FaZe are all going to be playing with so much confidence going into this next game.
It needs a big response. Players are taking and opting in for a break. And for TSM, it's just about gathering your thoughts. And for FaZe, they can now have a conversation about just being 1 game away from the grand finals. Close this thing out. And they'll be looking to do it in game 3, Dan. They have no interest in going any further.
Remember, all the talk for the last couple of events has been around Optic, around Shopify Rebellion, and FaZe have been kind of teetering on the edge a little bit of that 3rd place, 4th place team, wondering, will they be able to break into that top 2? Well, the chance is very much right here in front of them now. All that stands between them and the grand final is Stronghold's recharge. Sadly, FaZe Clan have not usually looked particularly good on Stronghold's recharge, but again, FaZe Clan at their worst at the moment. Can TSM even beat FaZe Clan playing in one of their worst game types? Because it all seems to be heading in a FaZe Clan direction. On the side of TSM, they've also been struggling a little bit with Strongholds as well. You can see they lost to Nemesis, they lost to Optic Gaming in pretty big margins as well. Are we starting to look at a potential 3-0 here, and TSM having to look at a rematch with Optic Gaming in the elimination final?
Might have been a conversation they had last night. Lads, FaZe Clan, Strongholds isn't their strongest game type. And then someone says, not really our strongest one
Not
either.
really us either. As long as we get to game 3. Yeah, we're definitely getting to game 3. Okay. Sadly for TSM, I think losing that Slayer is going to be the biggest dagger into their back, because they were 8-0 in Slayers. That no one else had been able to go up against them, not even Optic Gaming. Sadly now, with that record going, can they even get to a game 5? Because that's another record they have. You know, they've won every game 5 so far. So if they can go the distance here, maybe TSM become the favorites once we get there, but it's really hard to argue with how FaZe Clan are playing right now. They look like an unbeatable and unstoppable force.
And it's one thing to lose your 8-0 record in a 50-49 fashion, 50-48, but it was 50-40. It's a big discrepancy you've lost by there on one of your strongest map mode combinations. Having a look at the winner's bracket then, this is what's up for grabs. Grand final spot. FaZe Clan still remain just one away from an ever-elusive grand final.
It's still crazy looking at this bracket as well, because you saw the big names on the bottom side of the winner's bracket. Well, they all ended up in this stage of the elimination bracket as well. Optic Gaming, Shopify Rebellion were both on that lower side and had to face each other for top 3. But it was Optic Gaming getting the better of Rebellion this time, a 3-0 if you missed it, because it was a pretty quick one. And now Optic Gaming are waiting in that elimination final. Are we going to be seeing Optic again make that entire run through the elimination bracket all the way from Elim round 1 to a grand final? The real question is, who are they going to be facing? At the moment, it looks like a rematch with TSM, but TSM with a little bathroom break and a chance to maybe just have a discussion with each other. They need to wake up.
And I feel like at the moment, FaZe Clan are almost like Mr. Burns in his office. And they've got TSM standing in front of them and they're saying, just a little bit to your left, a little bit further to your left, and then they push the button to the trap door. And that's where Optic Gaming's waiting. And with the way Optic are playing, they've won a championship from this exact sort of route. Nobody wants to be playing them in the elimination finals. And it looks as though that's going to be TSM's fate.
Yeah, that trapdoor seems to be half open at this point for TSM. You can see a couple of side eyes across the board from the TSM players. Just, is this happening again? Is history repeating itself, or can we find a way back into this series? Stronghold's Recharge can be one of those games that really can go out of control if you lose the map right to begin with as well. If FaZe are able to set up, I'm really worried for TSM in this one. I think TSM have to make sure they're the first team to get any real control here.
In the build-up, we did talk about, we highlighted TSM in those Game 5s, getting the job done, icing up. So maybe there is still some resilience in there. Maybe they can bounce back here. All they need is one to believe, Dan. But it needs to be this one.
Not a single player from TSM has averaged over 1.0 KD on Stronghold so far this tournament.
Tell me good things.
Good things. TSM, yeah, I'm struggling a little bit.
Tell me bad things for FaZe then. Tell me something.
Well, FaZe also haven't won this game time so far this season. So there you go. There's the opportunity for TSM. But even when they've been losing FaZe, they've still been finding a lot more kills than TSM have. And that's going to be my worry here, because if you're just looking at a bad game type for both, it becomes a little bit of a slay fest, and FaZe look better right now.
Is this just one last throw of the dice for TSM? Desperate times, desperate measures. They go 3 dead. Opening break favors FaZe Clan. Camouflage for Suppressed, and can he just round the corner? The answer is yes.
You can't let the camo get away that comfortably, sadly. It's going to be a trip cap. It's going to be points scored for FaZe Clan. It's going to be 3 dead for TSM. As now Suppressed is going to be on the hunt. Oh, this could get ugly, Jersey. It's already a 30-plus scoreline, and they are really looking to take it to TSM here. They want to make a statement as they walk into these grand finals.
Suppressed enters bottom elevator. It's right like the elevators in the Omni. They take a long time to get to your floor.
Enemy team score.
Suppressed top A then, putting down shots. Captures it.
Enemy team scoring.
TSM, they're on the back foot immediately. 3 dead once again. They're being put in the blender.
I mean, they're getting absolutely slapperooed right now, let's be completely honest. TSM haven't even been able to find kills on the side of Manny and Druk because FaZe have just been pushing them so aggressively off spawn. Manny goes down again. It seems like every corner you turn as a TSM member, there's at least 2 players from FaZe staring at you, pinching you. And maybe they want to pinch you and you think, are we dreaming? I need to wake up at this point.
Ow, stop pinching me. Ow, stop pinching me. Here comes Penguin with another pinch. One-on-one with Manny. Doesn't even get the trade. Issues, concerns, rearing their ugly head once more. Is this going to be yet another Sunday the TSM falter? Under the pressure, under the lights. Is the occasion just getting the better of them here?
It's over a 100-point lead already. Only 2 minutes in for FaZe Clan. And still, two members of TSM yet to find a kill here. This might be one of the most one-sided games we've seen so far in this tournament, as Druck also falls. Still yet to find a kill. Still points being scored for FaZe Clan. They're not just going to walk into this grand final. They are waltzing into this grand final at this point.
The issue is, it doesn't even look like they've had to get out of third gear. Suppress steps in, tried to get the contest just before B was converted. Unable to do so.
Enemy halfway to
The onslaught isn't finished here. Manny's desperately trying to escape with his life. Trying to disappear, trying to skedaddle. But he's being hunted down. And every single time you see a TSM player in a hill, he's in there by himself. Druck's in big trouble, he gets cut down. The FaZe Clan machine keeps on rolling.
Show us something, TSM. Druck, Manny. Get a kill. It's so difficult to watch. I know how hard it is to Druck got a kill. It's so hard to play against teams that are this well coordinated when it comes to strongholds as well. Because every single time TSM off spawn, they are trying to get back into the game. They're trying to force their way to one of these strongholds, but FaZe are just waiting in the wings, almost giggling to themselves, saying, another one's trying to push down long haul, and then they're able to wipe them out. Look, at time after time, TSM are on different spawns. It's a 1 versus 2. It's a 1 versus 3. And FaZe Clan continue to push, continue to get aggressive. There's another player on their own. And Tolik's here for a little bit of backup, but are you too late? Because a grenade arrives as well. It's 184 to 1.
Another one bites dust. Manny does get a kill. Does finally register one. No more Goose Watch. Unfortunately, the stat line's not reading too good from 1, 2, and 10. 185 and climbing. And we know strongholds can flip on its head. But TSM, if they're going to do it, if they're going to show signs of life, they're going to have to do it quickly, or they're heading down to the elimination finals.
It's another camouflage. It's another kill. It's another painful watch on the side of TSM. And I don't think it takes a genius to try and work out which way this game is going to be going and which team is going to be heading towards the grand finals at this point. There's been very little displayed by TSM to suggest they can come back into this game, but everything displayed from FaZe Clan to show that they are the dominant force at this tournament. They are the team to beat if you want to be able to win and call yourself champions. Optic Gaming are going to be licking their lips in that elimination final, waiting for TSM to drop, as Manny drops to the floor from another perfect from Trippy.
FaZe Clan showing no compassion, absolutely ruthless here on strongholds. And TSM's backspin to the wall since the off. Have not had enough to get the job done. It's been all FaZe Clan this series. A clean sweep, 3-0.
I don't think you have to be a lip reader to try and work out what Royal One was saying. What on earth was that? And for good reason, what was that? You're in the winners final and you just got absolutely obliterated by FaZe Clan. Sadly for TSM, they just could not go. Maybe one step too far was this FaZe roster. FaZe are looking unbeatable.
Absolutely phenomenal. They waltz. They whimsically skedaddle into the grand finals. For TSM, their night's not going to get much easier now, Dan. Because they're heading down to a very red-hot Optic Gaming who just clean swept Shopify Rebellion, who are one of the tournament favorites, may I remind you. But now all of a sudden the complexion around FaZe Clan is, are they now the tournament favorites?
Well, I think this is what Penguin was questioning on his screens. What just happened? 1 and 14, 3 and 12, 5 and 10, 7 and 11. Be a great place to get some snacks, but not necessarily a great place to be up against FaZe Clan. 250 to 2. It was almost the perfect Strongholds game. Penguin was frying in that one as well with 17 kills. As soon as we got up here to start this series, it feels like we're ending it as well, Shurs. That was one of the fastest 3-0s that we've seen on main stage all weekend long.
Lincoln, you might have missed it. Dominant from the off. Confirmation of what you have seen if you're still trying to believe it. 3-0 Fortress, capture the flag, live fire Slayer 50-40, and a 250-2 Strongholds recharge. Absolutely dominant.
An obliteration, to be perfectly honest with you. It was not something I was expecting. I was really hoping. I feel like I'm just cursing things up here, to be honest, right now. I was expecting a little bit more from TSM here, a little bit more fight. I mean, that is clean, to say the least. I mean, just kicking things off with that CTF, that Fortress CTF, it was picture perfect from the get-go. And I will say that TSM just couldn't find their foot at all. The firepower was not there whatsoever. We were expecting big things out of, you know, their main slayers to step up to the mark, and it just didn't happen.
It did not happen, and I'm very excited to hear from Wes, because Wes is always the one who's honest in these scenarios.
Go on, Wes.
Where I'm from, you gotta say something about my sister or my mother to get your rear end kicked that bad.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Nobody do that. Folks at home, please do not do what he just said to him, because at your own peril.
That was
Royal One.
beat.
Hello.
Got you back on the sofa.
Hello, hello.
And I said I was hoping that I'd see either you or some of your teammates back on the sofa, and indeed you have done this.
Welcome back.
What a fashion.
Thank you.
Winners finals. I mean, unbelievable. This is crazy. You take a little bit of time off, Chris, and then you're back to a winning team. This is insane. That 3-0 was, I will say, unexpected. I'm sure maybe not from your case and your side of the barrier over there, but were you expecting TSM to not have that kind of firepower and for you guys to really just smooth sail on through that series?
I mean, I wasn't expecting it to be that one-sided, but I mean, I'm also not surprised. If anyone could be with our team right now in the trenches, like, I've never been on a team that has been so laser-focused like we are right now. We just know we have one mission right now, and that's it. We're not thinking about anything else.
I think it's probably a really good time for you to actually ask for a higher salary.
Yeah.
These
That
boys
would
looking
be a
dominant.
great time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Royal One. We were talking about the difference. You know, what was it? You know, the big difference from Arlington to now, and scrims, etc. And to be honest, we've only been able to pinpoint one thing, clear change, and it's you
Royal
being
One thing.
behind
Oh,
them.
thank you.
You know,
That makes
honestly,
me feel really good.
I'd actually love to know from your perspective, after so long and such a decorated career as a coach, what do you feel like you bring to the table for these boys?
I really like how I can compliment these guys. They are all very calm, focused on their own thing, and they don't get too excited, too hyped in anything. And I like to hope that, like, I can give them that little bit of extra flair and that style. Like, I don't know if you hear me up there. I'm screaming dead. I'm
We see
screaming
you.
things, getting people hyped, and you know, they might not say it, but that I think that goes a long way.
No, I was thinking about that when we went to a listening in game 1 and Trippy wins his gunfight under their spiral. And you just hear, nice, Joey. I literally went on a train of thought of like, yo, that gives you so much gas. Like that goes so far. And knowing this FaZe team as well as I do, it's like, there's not a ton of like gas givers, I'll call it, on the squad. They're traditionally all locked in, as you've already noted, but like so locked in to a point where there's not a ton of, you don't have the Energizer guy. So love the idea that you're bringing that to the team. All right, winners bracket finals. That one's a wrap. Grand finals, 2 best-of-7s at the worst case scenario. You got Optic Gaming coming from the elimination bracket. Obviously, TSM still gonna have to play that series, but Optic Gaming looking good on the run that they're on right now. You got to start to lean and being under the thought process that we're going to have to take down a team that we've already watched do this last event. And when they catch fire, how are we going to stop them? The big question is, does the new coach have the game plan to stop Optic Gaming when they're on fire?
For me, the game plan is just doing what we've been doing all tournament. Keeping our head the exact same, no matter if we're up 5-0 or down 5-0, it doesn't matter. As long as we keep our composure and just kind of keep our level the way it's been all tournament long, I think it's going to be tough to beat us.
Chris, I think there's one thing that Optic might have on their side. Obviously, you have an entire bracket reset on your side. But if Optic do manage to climb their way through this thing, they're going to be warm, like Wes said. What are you guys going to be doing backstage to allow yourselves to stay nice and warm, nice and hot, coming off that incredible win in the winners finals? You know, I think that, you know, things have been said about Shopify Rebellion, what happened to them last time. How are you guys staying put to make sure that you're coming in just as hot as they are?
Exactly, that's a big factor. I think we're going to be doing, don't want to sound like a broken record, but we're just going to be staying on our P's and Q's, doing the same thing we've been doing all weekend long. We're going to be in the back playing 2v2.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the back shooting bots. We're going to be talking about the game, like, you know, just typical stuff. We're not treating this any differently than any other match that we have all tournament. I think as long as we just stay locked and stay focused, we'll be good.
So far, so good.
So, I'm looking at my stats. Stronghold's Recharge was one of your worst game types, and you just 250 to 2
Yeah.
TSM.
Ew.
Why? What happened? How did you do that?
I think you're asking yourself the same question.
We've been working on it. We've been working on a lot of things, and I think just we're coming together really well right now. We've kind of fit the pieces together in a really good way this tournament, and I think we're learning every series, and we're getting better every series. And I think individually it also doesn't help that I've got 4 players that are just absolutely frying. So that always helps too.
Oh, Jinbo's record got broken. There we go.
He'll be delighted to hear that.
There we go. A 0. Actually, wasn't that you last time as well?
Yeah, it was.
A 0.36. Now it's a 0.32.
Hate to do it to him, but
You guys are mean.
Yeah, you really are.
Unbelievable. I'm not gonna lie, this is some these are some disgusting,
My bad.
disgusting stats. Incredible start to your championship Sunday. Well, thank you so much, Royal One, for joining us on the couch. I hope to see you on the better side of that bracket at some point. I'm really looking forward to this grand final, and we'll find out who's going to be joining you and your team. Go get warm, stay warm, and go focus up. Thank you so much. I
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Folks, this one is going to be absolutely nuts. Next up, we do have our elimination final. It's TSM versus Optic Gaming. One's going home. One is going on forward and has a long, perilous grand finals ahead of them. Find out who it's going to be coming right up after the break.
Want more Halo action? Subscribe to the Halo Esports channel for official HCS highlights, behind-the-scenes content, and player spotlights that take you closer to the pros. Stay in the loop with official updates, Halo Esports history, and our HCS and community top 10 series. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now.
Was the first game like Halo 3?
No.
Halo Reach?
Yeah.
Okay. On and off, Halo Reach. 1-1.
Yep.
What kind of role are they known for? They like a Slayer, objective, like just an all-around beast.
Greatest AIDS player of all time.
Greatest AIDS Greatest AIDS player of all time. And we don't scrim them? Who's the greatest AIDS player of all time? Are they like constantly in the top 8, top 4?
No. Well, they're like in that range.
Does everyone know him?
Yeah.
Mortally?
No.
Suppressed.
We're getting closer. We're getting hotter.
Does he have brothers?
No. Wait, yeah, he does, but they don't play that anymore.
Shotzi.
No. Dude, you're naming like the exact friend. That's like perfect.
Diagram?
No.
He's a pro? And we don't scrim him. Then he's the greatest AIDS player of all time. Do I play him a lot in match? Does he play matchmaking a lot? Does he bet a lot of money?
I don't know, actually.
Is he like a big better?
He's like a mid.
He's the best at AIDS. And he's in that friend group.
They all live in the same house.
Boo Boo?
Yeah.
Dude.
Are they main slayer of their team?
No.
Are they very OBJ efficient? We can go next.
Yeah, go next.
Are they in a top 12 team?
Yes.
Are they in our pool right now?
Yes.
Oh my god, we're doing this. Okay, how about this? Are they playing and not coaching?
Yes.
Oh my god, are they power weapon merchant?
Yes.
Oh my god, here we go. This is it. Smaller than me?
No.
Taller? Or
Yeah.
what's in size? Oh my god, okay. Have they ever placed top 3?
Yes.
Oh my god, so someone that messaged you. Is it Lucid?
Yep.
Oh my god, let's go.
Am I playing in this event?
Yes.
Am I good?
Yes. Yes, he's good.
All right, that cuts it down.
You're good.
It's gonna be like 5 people then. Am I a main slayer on my team?
Yeah.
Was I a pro before Halo 3? Or before Halo Infinite?
Before Halo Infinite?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was I a pro before Halo 5?
No.
Am I an H5 kid?
Yeah.
Am I friends with Druck?
Yes.
Am I Druck?
No. You're not drunk.
Am I Soul Snipe?
No.
Am I Talik?
Yes.
go.
New Juggernaut.
Welcome back, Spartans, to HCS Open Dallas 2025 DreamHack. We're in our elimination finals. This truly is go hard or go home. One of our teams will head into the grand final spot, bounce right back up into that championship bracket, and one will be out of the competition. We got Optic versus TSM. TSM, they've been here before, back in 2022 in the Halo World Championships, and this roster, they were actually out in this spot in the elimination finals. They have a chance to rewrite history. In Optic, well, they have a chance to make history once again, going through one of the most brutal brackets that we could have ever imagined, making their way back to the top yet again, like they did in Arlington, hopefully to take the trophy. Let's talk all about it, gents. We got Optic first up though. They are looking pretty good right now. I will argue that they are looking significantly better than TSM on that stage. You can see him right here, legend. For me, an absolute game changer in the series that we had seen this morning. He is on one today. He might have been slightly quieter in the past couple of days, but today he's getting loud. Wes, I really would not place bets against this team because Optic, they are catching fire, and we know what happens when this is occurring for them.
Yeah, that'd be a bad idea. I had an opportunity to talk to Lunchbox early this morning, and he referenced TSM, their pop-off, especially the series against Optic, and how TSM kind of carried themselves, and it's kind of a lack of grace, I would say, that they were able to pull that W off with. He said, ever since then, we are on a mission. There is blood that we're out for, and it is TSM's blood. And unfortunately for TSM, coming off the loss that they just came off of, you know, Optic watched that series in the back, and they said, oh yeah, this is right where we want them.
Fairness, TSM were popping off at the crowd more than they were to the actual opposition on the stage.
Protect your fans.
Well, yeah, exactly that. Optic want to do it for their fans here for sure. And, you know, if they're playing the way they are, and if TSM play the way they just did, I'm worried this could be another bloodbath, and maybe there's something for TSM in this series layout that's a little bit better than the last, but Optic Gaming, they just look like they're trying to do the same thing as Arlington, just destroy anyone in their wake until they get what they feel like they deserve, and that would be a trophy. And if they're able to go back-to-back through elimination bracket, I really think we might be looking at a team to potentially go on and win how many events this year?
Yeah.
This is truly the perfect storm for Optic Gaming. You're catching fire at the right time. You're coming up against TSM, who've just been absolutely demolished in the winners finals. French Phenom starting to catch fire. All things point towards Optic Gaming versus FaZe Clan in the grand finals.
100%. I also, before we leave Optic, I want to emphasize the fact that I do think Coach Lunchbox is a pivotal piece to this team. I think when you have such individually talented superstars on your roster, and rightfully so, you want them all together, it can be very difficult to kind of regroup them at times. He can see every single screen. He can tell them exactly what he wants to do. I've even heard in, comms and all of our listeners that he's calling out sometimes a Renegade because Renegade's too busy doing what he does best. This is huge for Optic Gaming, and I think Lunch is a key part to that. On the other side of things, though, we have TSM, who really are looking to warm up a little bit here. They looked awfully cold going up against FaZe. I truly, at this point, don't know what to say about their gameplay. There was nothing good to take away from what we saw against FaZe. Every single person we needed to step up on that roster could not do so. Manny had a really, really difficult game in that series where I just think was uncharacteristic, and it can't happen in a winners finals. You need to come in prepared and shooting straight. We just didn't see it happen, and Wes, I'm very worried about them here.
Yeah, rightfully so. TSM fans should be a little bit on edge right now, as you even said it. They don't look warmed up, and guess what? The last series, you got an entire best of 5 to warm up, and that series was not quick enough for me to warm up, let alone the players on the stage. So you better come in with a different mentality here. How do you reset your mind? You didn't even have to get up, really, after that series. Your controller stays plugged in, the headsets are on, you kind of get up and you shuffle. Maybe there's a speech in the background being given, but mentally resetting after the destruction we just witnessed in the winners bracket finals, it's going to be difficult for anybody, let alone a team that's had this story before.
Typically, we look at players to watch and we say, who's going to be the player that makes a difference? Who's the player that you're looking at that will get the slays? But all 4 of those players need to look at themselves and say, I did not play well enough in that last series. I need to change things now. The thing we do have is TSM have already beaten Optic Gaming in this tournament. So there is a bright spark there. We've done it before. Let's just do it again.
Listen, I'm worried, but like you said, there is a silver lining here. They have been in this position before with Optic Gaming on that main stage, and they did get the better of them. Their slayers need to carry them through, but in order to do that, you need to be slaying. That's what's been missing in that last series with FaZe. You need to start shooting your gun, feeling confident, pop off, get some momentum going, and carry it on through in this series. You've done this before. I really like this team. I really like TSM. I love that they're back together. I hope that they really give it their very best here on this main stage, because it's the last opportunity they will get. Folks, we are ready to go. It is time for your elimination final. We have TSM versus Optic happening right now.
Excited to take over here in our elimination finals. I'm excited. I'm not sure TSM are too excited, Dan, because after that bloodbath, they now find themselves up against Optic Gaming. And it's not really a task I want to be dealing with.
Yeah, you really have got to dig deep for TSM here, just because of the struggles you just went through. And now you're right back at it. Out of the frying pan and into the fire, I think, is the best expression here. Stronghold's live fire is where we kick things off. Maybe a saving grace for TSM, as their Optic Gaming is 0-2 on Stronghold's live fire so far this tournament. Equally, though, TSM have not won it, and we just saw them getting absolutely battered on Stronghold's recharge. So, yeah, we're going to need to see TSM really change something up here, because right now, it is hard, I think, for anyone to believe this is going to be anything but an Optic Gaming victory. We need to see TSM win this first map to give me any belief they still have what it takes, because at the moment, they look second best.
One of the keys to victory in the last series for TSM was going to be their teamwork, where individual skill might let them down, where they don't have some of the superstars. They can always rely on their teamwork. We didn't see that in the first series. It's time to come to life, where you're going to see yet another Championship Sunday play out where you go 0-6. It's time to change the narrative. It's time to flip the script. But for Optic Gaming, they've got TSM in their sights. They're hungry. It's shields up, weapons hot. We're underway here.
Now, the players who really underperformed last time that Optic Gaming went up against TSM on Strongholds, it was probably Legend. He was really quite quiet, only averaging a 0.75 KD, and That's something that you would expect better from the French phenom. So if we see the likes of Legend step up in this game, maybe Optic can just topple TSM in this series and get that revenge they so desperately are after here. Oh!
Renegade opens up Druk. A snipe shot to the face. Formal got camouflage. He can take his time with Soul Snipe here before getting the reset. 2 dead, Legend and Renegade. Soul Snipe and Tolok on the opposite side. Gonna be green spawns here. Manny takes some damage, forced to back away. Formal can just move Reptilian into the cover of his camouflage. Close the distance, get the kill, teammates there. TSM trying to capture A here, but they're losing B. This is a pretty decent start from Optic Gaming.
And one thing we saw from TSM in the previous against phase is when they are behind, they get a little bit flustered. They start to throw themselves at strongholds, and they really struggle to get back into the game. They cannot afford to go that far behind here again to Optic Gaming, but are we going to witness more of the same? Because Optic have control, Optic have the sniper rifle, and Optic have the map, and TSM need to find a way back in.
Renegade up in his perch. Top tower sitting pretty. Ghillie suit on. Ready to find some faces. Eye trained over top middle. Now looking to go towards Nest Bridge. Just whiffs on Druk. A slight pixel away from finding the face there. Has lost a couple of teammates inbound, and Legend has to play this one appropriately and accordingly. Gets a kill onto Manny. Close the distance now over towards Green, looking to contest. Gets the reset for now. As TSM have just backed out of it, trying to prioritize surviving. Trying to survive. Druk goes down. Legend and Bound fall 2. Renegade last man standing for his team, but gets a kill. He's being pinched here from 2 players from either side. Needs to play this one as perfectly as he can. Can he get the trade into Manny? The answer is no. Shut down. This is better from TSM.
That was well played from Manny as well, recognizing the QT was going to come into the equation and just nading into toilet just in case he went back in. And finally, TSM will break. So Optic Gaming, they only were trying to hold for 2. TSM took a little while to break, but at least now they are going to be able to put some points on the board here and maybe give them a little bit more confidence here in this series.
Points on the board, exactly what the doctor ordered. Maybe hand out some prescriptions for Letacillin. Renegade with camouflage. He's moving and grooving once more, getting information all the while, pinging for his teammates. Doesn't want to reveal himself just yet. Waiting for the opportune moment. Here it comes. Tolok had no idea where he was standing. 5 fresh shots. Sniper rifle's going to pop up as well. Manny over towards C. Renegade's happy just to settle for capturing B. Now we'll look to contest the sniper rifle, but it's just been scooped up by a member of TSM. They're down 2 members. Soul Snipe's going to try and do what Renegade did. Whole tower. Momentary trip cap for Optic Gaming. 78 points in climbing. This is far more competitive from TSM. This is much better.
Formal had no right to get that kill onto Soul Snipe, by the way. Soul Snipe was trusting in his teammates to put pressure on Formal, but Formal was not swayed at all. He knew he had to get his eyes trained on the sniper rifle. And even though TSM had the sniper, even though they had tower, they only had 1 stronghold, so they were really unable to set up. They had to be aggressive to try and take either B or A away from them. Now Optic, instead, they have control, and now they have the sniper rifle. And you don't want it in Formal's hands, I'll tell you that for free.
Just thought with the way he's playing, he was going to hit the shot as well. TSM do put him away. They're going to combine. Renegade gets double kill. Prioritizing the player that was weakest. Great heads-up play from him. Great awareness. All 4 dead for TSM. Optic Gaming really starting to find their feet now in game 1.
There's going to be a temporary trip cap, but they're probably going to spawn over towards A here to try and contest. But Optic can obviously take that fight as they just captured it as well. I think now we're going to get some split spawns, but split spawns, no problem. All 4 dead is Optic Gaming again with the trip cap.
Spawning out towards camouflage now. Druk isolated all alone, crying for help. Tries to escape up cuts, but he's being hunted down by the wolf pack. Tolok over towards Nest. De-scopes Renegade pretty quickly. Renegade peels 1 from the high heavens.
I mean, Renegade getting into that kind of form. Optic Gaming getting into that kind of championship mentality form again. Early here on Sunday. And I'm sure they just want to be able to batter through TSM and start to think about FaZe Clan, but this game 1 is going exactly how they would have expected. 195 to 50 right now, and Manny gets shut down by Formal. A's being taken once more. This could be another trip cap. Optic Gaming looking to close this one out as fast as they could.
TSM running out of opportunities. A is gone. They're going to swap over C, but it doesn't matter. Optic Gaming will keep on scoring points. They now have a numbers advantage. It's time to use it. But they've given themselves so much to do yet again here. It has to be almost perfect Halo from here on out for them to win this game. Renegades back green. It should be an easy kill. A cleanup for Manny.
Team nearing
He steps inside B. Optic Gaming have a lot of time to respond here.
I think it's evident that Strongholds just isn't the game type for TSM. Not just based off what we've seen over these last two, but I mean, statistics go alongside it as well. As Optic continue to score, and I think TSM needs to start looking towards these Slayers and finding a way back into this series. As soon as TSM get out and find a stronghold, Optic are already at the next one. Their rotations have been excellent.
It's the speed in which Optic Gaming are playing at, the pace. TSM just haven't been able to find an answer for it. You can see Manny there, he was hesitant. Do I go and help the players at C? Do I stay B? And in the end, he was between that rock and a hard place, and he chose neither. He died at Nest. Optic Gaming just do not hesitate. They're relentless. Legend finds another face. And Optic Gaming look to close out game one in another dominant fashion. The green wall looking pretty strong.
Not looking good for TSM, however. 4 losses in a row and 2 strongholds in a row that looked extremely one-sided. But maybe that is something for TSM to go off. They get their bad one out of the way. Let's now start to look at the rest of the series. We know we can take down Optic in these Slayers. We've done it before. We can do it again. But is this a slightly different look, Optic Gaming, to early on Friday in pool play? But maybe they weren't quite awake. Maybe they weren't quite as into it as they are now. Maybe it was the wake-up call they needed right at the start of Friday. You heard what Lottie was saying when she spoke to Coach Lunchbox. He felt a certain kind of way when they saw those reactions from TSM. And I wonder, how will they and the fans react if Optic Gaming take down TSM here?
It's almost that Michael Jordan meme. I took that personally. I'm looking to avenge that here and now. A dominant display in game one. Optic Gaming finding their feet. Green Wall finding their voice. All things again. This is not good news for TSM. They've got to find a response. We're calling for something. We need to show signs of life. Because we want nothing more than a competitive TSM here in these series. But they just haven't woken up so far.
I mean, we said it right at the start of the broadcast today. As soon as we saw that TSM were going to be in this situation, would it be a repeat from the World Championship of 2022, the last time this team was a 4? They got all their way. They had that amazing tournament to get to top 3, but then fell flat on Sunday. And it's not just TSM. We've seen it happen historically throughout Halo history. Sometimes the bracket just plays out in a way where the good teams end up playing each other. You can kind of breeze through to that upper end and get into the winners final just because of a really good day in pool play. And TSM need to right that wrong, change that story, and it has to happen here in Slayer Recharge. One of the reasons why TSM, I think, were so good against Optic Gaming in Slayers was because all of them were being aggressive. They weren't allowing Optic that time to kind of plan an action, plan an attack. And another factor is Formal had a disappointing series, especially in Slayers when they played in pool play. A 0.6 KD across both Slayers is not really the stats line you would see from Formal. If he wakes up here, if he's playing like he has been so far across Saturday and already here into Sunday, yeah, I'm a little bit worried for TSM.
Clutch talked about how were TSM going to respond? How are they going to shift their mentality after a pretty dismal performance in that winners finals? They haven't been able to respond thus far. Here comes another Slayer, another opportunity. One of their stronger map mode combinations. This is where they have to respond. They go down 0-2, Dan. You may as well call curtains.
I'm going to be keeping my eye on Manny for this one. He was the one who stepped up the last time these two teams fought up against each other in pool play on Slayers. He was just able to find everything but Legend. Able to work in tandem with Bound. There's going to be a 3-kill apiece on either side for this starting strategy, but Tolic will get the better. So TSM win the early trade-off.
Good from Tolic. Got the backstab. You know he wants to try and close distance, get that camouflage. Scoops the Shroud screen, but Renegade's not going to let this one go too easy. And he gets the kill. Shroud screen goes down. It is utilized. This time it's Renegade with the camouflage.
Renegade is relentless with his aggression, by the way. The way he will follow a grenade around a corner, the way he will chase a kill, knowing full well that that player is not going to get away under his watch as he gets the double, and he's not going to go for the triple, though, because he has the camo.
Great discipline from Renegade. Looking for more information, going for that shock rifle now. Druk is over towards gold, though. Unfortunately for Renegade, that's exactly where TSM spawns. He's going to have to fight tooth and nail for this. Unfortunately for him, 2 of his teammates go down. His camouflage dissipates, and he's in the middle of no man's land. He gets taken care of.
Really good.
Over towards batteries.
Really good defensive grenades as well from TSM. They recognize where Optic Gaming may have been trying to push them over towards Bat Ledge. Just ensure that no one's able to jump up and get into a position to steal that shock rifle away from them. But now if you're Soul Snipe, you know you have a responsibility with this weapon. Legend just falls into his tight lines here. A gift from the heavens. It's a 2-kill lead for TSM. They have to win this game. They know it, we know it, everyone watching knows it as well. If Optic go 2 up here, you start to think about that grand final already.
Soul Snipe could be about to take over this game. Already 6-2-2. His team need him. Slides over towards the cuts. Gets a double kill on long haul. Killing spree locked in for him as well. Talik, though, he's going to be the victim of Bound's aggression. Now a shock rifle. Bound lines up too, somehow. Kills like that go against you. It's so difficult. TSM still with a 1-kill advantage.
Again, that's the difference maker, isn't it? The clutch factor that this Optic roster offers, just being able to hit shots like that. Considering the Slayers last time these two played were 50-48, 50-49, those single kills could be a huge difference in the grand scheme of things.
And we talked about it yesterday. Penguin was on the sofa talking about what was the difference between the team, blah, blah, blah. He said they just hit 4 unbelievable no-scopes. Bound's already hit 1. Formal clears his corners wisely here. Incredible game awareness from Optic to clear that corner. He could have been forgiven for just walking straight past. I think it was clear.
That's a man who's played more video games than just Halo, I'll tell you that. Very much happy to check his corners. He's not going to be bettered by anyone trying to be sneaky. 21-19 now in favor of Optic Gaming. The next shock rifle was about to come up, and Renegade, I think, already had his hands on it before it even spawned.
Situate on goal steps. Fights happening over towards long haul. Players situated over towards top tower as well. Formal gets a kill. Renegade eyes up Talik, but opted to delay his shot. For good reason, just wasn't quite on the face just yet. Shroud screen goes down, Druk spot in middle. You see Renegade's not too comfortable where he's standing. For information from his team. A couple of players over towards long haul. We have a little bit of a stalemate now.
A little bit of quiet across recharge here. Maybe a good chance to jump into a listening with Optic Gaming and seeing what they're feeling about this one.
Too much every. Last one just every. Tiki. Trying to push that. Do that. Camo, guys. 5 seconds. Matt's on it. Matt's camo.
Enemy
Make. Make one shot, you guys. Make weak. We have camo. It's in gold.
Toss our battery.
Put him in. I didn't drop it. Nice, we got one. Nice, 2 dead, guys. Watch out. 3 dead. Last guy. Yeah, push it. Top eight. Let's get top eight. He might go up on him. Top eight. Nice, guys. 8-kill lead.
I'm walking out again. I'm finding character.
Guys. Kim was almost out, man. You're bottom here, man. See. Tower turret, said 2 dead. Pushing glass.
Watch out. Nice shot.
Big hit, John. He's long. Long drug. They have shock. Balance your shot. Careful, 2 upset. Try and find each other. Might push Matt Tower.
One pair. Make this guy. On the stairs, one truck. Play trade. Shoot on this kid, actually. Shoot on this fucking kid. I'm on him.
One to see. Go past. I'm going. Actually, yo, whole crosses. Like, make the game simple. Whole crosses. Ready.
What's big door? Or glass? Glass, mini glass.
We do not have glass claws.
I can see it. I have glass.
No one's bottom here.
Lock on Jack on the BR. There's one glass truck now.
Yeah, Sebri. I kind of want to double hit glass.
30, guys.
You want to double hit glass?
Glass with a beer.
Alright, 6-kill lead then for Optic Gaming as they are starting to take control of this game. And one key thing I actually want to take away, Lunchbox with a call out to Formal. Only a few seconds left on that camouflage. Not something typically you would think about timing as a coach, but very important, because as a player, sometimes you forget how long you're going to have. And of course, you can give away your position very quickly just from the audio cue when that camo goes away.
There's a couple of other things that were mentioned. Renegade, as he picks up a double kill, funnily enough, he went down, they had a 6-kill advantage instead of their 8 and 10, and he said, just slow it down, play it simple, hold crosses. Good communication. Formal immediately reacted to that. Lunchbox at one point saying 8-kill advantage, just letting the players know they have a decent lead and maybe they can take some risks. And that lead continues to grow. It's now 10 as Formal's trying face with the shock rifle.
It's a 10-kill lead, it's a camouflage, it's a shock rifle. All the pieces are there for Optic Gaming to win this one now. TSM, I think we're starting to see them slowly fall away from this tournament, from this series. Just to try and close a gap like this against Optic Gaming. Optic are not one to throw away a lead like this.
TSM just crumbling on Sunday. Kolik goes down. He was all alone in tower. His teammates all over towards A and gold now. Soulsnipe trying to get some space for his team, but is it too little, too late? 2 kills required now. It's a matter of when, not if, Optic Gaming double their series advantage. Soulsnipe will get a kill, but it means little now. Formal gets 1. He's last man standing for his team for now, opting wisely to back away. But it really is a relentless Optic Gaming here. TSM have not been able to handle the pressure and the pace. Manny's in tower, Druk gets a kill. Tolik gets another, but it just takes Optic Gaming to get 1. They can 4-stack somewhere and wait. Formal has watched his teammates die twice. Plasma grenade lands at his feet, he just somehow survives.
I think you had it right. It's not about if, it's when. It's inevitable at this point. It would be a miraculous comeback from TSM. And sadly, Tolik is going to walk right into the French phenom. Legend cleans it up. Optic 2-0 in the series. And they have 1 foot in the door of that grand final.
That trapdoor opens again. TSM look to walk right over it. All smiles for Optic Gaming. Greenwall starting to chant. They know victory is near. TSM just haven't shown enough here.
It begs the question, you know, with Optic Gaming, where was this on Friday? You've made it so hard for yourselves to put yourself in this position through this elimination bracket as well. But alas, they won't care. As long as they get to that grand final and they give themselves the opportunity to lift that trophy once more. I remember back in Arlington when we saw them lose to Nemesis. Everyone was kind of, oh, you know, is this God Squad going to be that God Squad? They answered those questions very quickly. They're doing exactly the same thing here at Dallas. Legend put up 15, Former with 13 as well. The 2 players who I said had a rough series last time against TSM, well, they've showed that it was just a one-off.
Take a look at the damage then. Legend, 4K, bound, 4.4 leading the lobby. And you can tell they were all firing on all cylinders. And I think something you noticed, and you mentioned that, why couldn't you just do this in pool play? But there's something exciting about Optic Gaming with the way they play, with their play style. There's a lot of risk involved. And sometimes if the timing's not there, if they get it just a bit wrong, it can go awry. And we've seen that in pool play. These 4 players are so talented, but there's flaws there. There's weakness.
It is also worth noting that I know I joke and say, where was this during pool play? But at the same time, it was a 50-49 that separated themselves and TSM from Optic, topping that grouping, having a very different bracket to walk through as well. We may have seen Optic kind of walked through to the winners finals themselves had they have won that 50-49. Well, something a little bit different though for this series. We've got neutral bomb on Fortress. Now, I'd love to try and tell you that this is something that TSM could maybe take Optic down, but actually when we have seen Optic play neutral bomb, they've looked very confident on it. The way that they can manipulate the map in their favor, take control of the opposition snipe tower, for example. TSM may struggle here, and we might just see that history repeat itself.
Taking a look at the bomb stats then. Records 1 and 2 for TSM. like you mentioned, Dan, rightly, a 3-0 record for Optic Gaming. First versus 9th in the league. So when you have a map mode combination, when you need something to show signs of life, when you want your best map mode to show up in Game 3, that just isn't coming to fruition for TSM.
And I'll be honest, I think this could be any map mode for Game 3. And I think Optic are just in such fine form at the moment, and TSM sadly on that downward trend. It's so difficult as a player to pick yourself up when you're in this position. You've just lost 5 matches on the bounce, 5 maps in a row, excuse me. And you're about to be looking at being eliminated from the competition. This is how the elimination bracket has looked thus far. Of course, Optic Gaming 2-0 against TSM right now. But on the upper hand, it's FaZe Clan waiting in that grand final. Could this be the tournament for FaZe Clan? All the talk about Rebellion, Optic Gaming, who's the best, who's going to take this one? Well, FaZe have answered any critics and also demonstrated that they may be a powerful force, the powerful force in this tournament.
It's funny you mentioned that. The conversations around the teams, it was always Optic and Rebellion. They look really good. And then people were talking about another team who was SSG. They're not looking so great. They're not looking so hot. FaZe Clan didn't even enter the conversation. Well, they're inserting themselves in the conversation now. They're in the grand finals. And these two teams have had stark contrasting competitions so far. Both, though, have gone through the brackets with a big club and have just been bonking teams that are put in front of them.
Speaking of bonking teams, Legend and Renegade have been doing it as well. Both of them destroying their opposition. It's very hard to try and come back into a series, come back into a game, let alone when you have 2 players firing like these two are. You could say that for any 4 of these Optic members. If anyone has a slight off series, there's always someone else to pick it up for them, and that's why they are one of the very best, if not the very best, certainly from what we saw in Arlington. But fist bumps all around as map 3 is starting to get loaded here. Is there anything left in the tank from TSM? Or is it going to be history repeating itself as they go back-to-back 0-3s to fall out of the tournament here on Sunday?
Optic Gaming have been like mercenaries, hired guns, ruthless to any team put in front of them. Now putting TSM to the sword. They're on the back foot, they're on the ropes. And just one haymaker away from...
Давай, прогружай. На кого я зашел? Кто это? Что это? Мне вот это надо. Ага.
Wave of slays. They play defense, they clear TSM out.
Chance maybe to arm this one though. You can see Legend was moving it. But it does get reset, gets tossed off, so we'll just be right back to square one for these two. You'll see a lot of that this game of when that bomb does get into the danger area, just trying to take it to somewhere where you can toss it off quickly. Even if you are behind, even if you are struggling on slays.
Bomb now, starting to move the wrong way if you're a TSM fan. A couple of kills will relieve a little bit of pressure though. Soul Snipe gets another. Edging down towards Arches. He'll be loving it. Right now. You know the next bomb plan's going to be so pivotal in this series. You feel TSM have got to get it.
over if they get the first plant. I think we know that. TSM had overshield for a second there, but Optic were just waiting for them, ambushing them from above. TSM just sadly walked into so much gunfire from Optic Gaming that the overshield was once again negated. It's a good game plan from Optic, to be honest. They're not throwing too much resources towards getting the overshield and then taking a fight and then going 3 or 4 down. Instead, they're just making sure they call out the overshield because you can deplete it so fast as long as at least 2 of you are looking at it.
There's 2 ways to look at this as well. Is that TSM playing very well here. They're getting the bomb into Optic Gaming's base consistently. The issue is, when they do, they don't even look like they can get the plant. And you know if the script flips, Optic Gaming will punish them. It will be clinical. TSM have got to find a way to get the bomb in that zone and start putting some plants in. But 3 go down for them. And again, we're going to have this stalemate. Talked about grueling, how grueling this bomb on Fortress can be. Just takes stamina, it takes resilience. TSM are going to have to show that in abundance.
Really have to brute force your way into the enemy base. Maybe that's what Optic are going to try and do here. They're going to go for a little slight different approach, moving the bomb on the right-hand side towards their opposition tower. 3 are going to be dead on the side of TSM. But Optic aren't going to be able to arm it here. They have to make sure they slay once more because you can already see many of spawn takes downbound.
It's always difficult to bring the bomb in on the snipe side as well. The armory spawn is usually the preferred place to block. Legend and Formal and Bound keep getting kills. They're making this work. Renegade gets another. Legend though, he brought the bomb front base. Like you say, that thing's heavy. Takes a while to move. Takes a while to shift. But an overshield now for Bound. The bomb is being armed. We spoke about how clinical they could be. 2 go down for TSM. Bound's moving in now. Manny in the spiral staircase. He should get taken care of and does. Danger not cleared now for TSM. Still a lot of work to do. Talik trying to close distance, will get the kill and doesn't get traded. But the problem is, he's the last man alive for his team now. Only for a moment though.
This is going to be the best chance for Optic Gaming. They've got 3 dead several times here. They're very firmly in the base of TSM. A little bit like rugby, to be honest. Passing the bomb back, someone else grabs it, and then someone grabs it again, but I think the bomb just reset.
Objective incoming.
So even though Optic were certainly in the ascendancy there and tried as they might to get into the TSM base, you can really see when one team just backs off and plays defense, it's so hard to get that arm.
Continue to slay out for Talik, double kill. We're on this map of mode and we've always seen a siege. In my mind, I just get Lord of the Rings music in my head. Din, 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 din. We're just waiting for one player to run in with the bomb and explode. Open this game completely up. Take him down, Legolas! Do go down for Optic Gaming. And again, Halo being played on the right side of the court. If you're a TSM fan. Another round of slays required though. Bomb still hasn't been moved. Slow slay.
Привет.
Behind enemy lines. Down in the basement. Engagements happening around bottom middle. TSM getting the better of it again. Just need to get their hands on the bomb. 4 minutes on the clock now. They look the more dangerous. They are threatening more. That's good for TSM.
However, I will say that TSM, how many times can you kind of put your back to the wall and defend when Optic do start to gain control here? All it takes is that 1 more dead at exactly the same time for Optic to truly set up around your base, and you feel like this game's going to be over. So TSM almost need to make sure they are sending one player around as like a flanker at all times. Otherwise, you are just going to fall into that same trap from Optic Gaming. Someone to disrupt what Optic are trying to set up. 3 dead again for TSM. But again, not the worst thing. Just having that 1 player to survive to give the question mark to Optic Gaming as where are they? So they start to look for them.
Да не очень, если честно. Самочувствие типа лучше, но все еще больной, знаешь. Все еще больной. И начинается тяжелая неделя, последняя неделя семестра. Надо позакрывать пропуски. Еще каким-то образом надо умудряться ходить на работу. Короче, я не готов, если честно, морально. И физически тоже себя не очень чувствую. Еще хочется как-то игры проходить, понимаешь? Я уже молчу о том, что я забросил кино, сериалы, да и сейчас настроения нету. И так-то особо нечего смотреть. А у тебя как?
Should be enough here. Legend does fall. Druck is in a pretty advanced position here, but needs to stay alive and needs help. Overshield's just popped as well. Looks like TSM were able to grab it, and now they can maybe start moving this bomb, but you can see Formal's in a position to be a nuisance, but he also falls. This is going to be TSM's best opportunity to take some control. Here they come then. The siege tactics being deployed once more. But again, Optic Gaming hold the line. 2 go down for TSM every single time. Optic are put in that position. They get the opening pick, they get the double kill, and they push themselves back out again. Well, TSM have thrown everything at that one, and now Optic Gaming are going to wrestle back control and start to move this bomb as well. Bomb gets passed off between them. And they know they need to focus on Slaves, but again, it's Soul Snipe who's able to get behind enemy lines. But Renegade's also going to be there for a double of his own. Renegade needs to be shut down. Currently sitting at 21, 10 and 18.
Я так хочу, чтобы сейчас TSM выиграли. Может, даже сделали 2-2, потому что что-то в оптике что-то страшное вытворяют вообще. 3-0, 3-0, ну как так-то? Ну вообще никому не дают шанса прорваться. Посмотри, что Renegade творит. Пипец, даблкил, я в шоке.
This could be the moment. Here and now. Bomb being armed. The fuse is half lit. Dropping in the 1v1 engagement. All 4 dead for TSM. Formal with hands on bomb.
Да, GG. Оптики опять сделали. 3-0. Ну, TSM сейчас за 10 секунд не успеет взять бомбу и взорвать. Да. Капец, оптики 3-0 сделали.
Optic Gaming go into the grand finals. Well, they have a matchup that you will not want to miss against FaZe Clan. 2 of the biggest orgs in esports and 2 of the biggest teams in Halo are going to duke it out in a best of 7, maybe 2 best of 7s, if Optic Gaming are able to reset that bracket.
Там, кстати, был комплектный Serious S контроллер.
It's 2 0-3s back to back. Very much reminiscent of the 2022 Halo World Championship. But for Optic Gaming, the revenge is found as they take down TSM and now start to look eyes trained towards FaZe.
If the barometer is who's looking the more likely to win the grand finals, and you want to use TSM as the comparison, we are no closer to finding out. This one's going to be anyone's game. But this series comes to its conclusion. Dominant from Optic Gaming once more. 250 to 54. 50-40 Slayer recharge. And finally getting that plant in on neutral bomb. TSM sent home. Optic Gaming marching on.
Even though TSM were close in that final last game, it just felt like they were holding on a little bit, Lottie.
They certainly were indeed. I will say I am happy with how TSM came back and rebutted a little bit from the cold start they had against FaZe. We saw a little bit more life from them. So that's promising, right? Optic Gaming, though, just a whole different level of fish here. I mean, it's just unbelievable stuff. They are not to be stopped at this point in time, especially with TSM coming out cold the way that they had. I was hoping for maybe something to clutch onto, excuse the pun, but Clutch, you know, how are you feeling about that series overall?
Don't hold on to me. Not if you're TSM right now, and that's just a tough loss, right? The way that their Sundays have gone in the past rears their ugly head here once again in Dallas, and
territory for these guys. You know, what happened on KCP at the World Championships, you know, what happened to teams like Pure, who have the potential to go the distance. And we get into this Championship Sunday, and it just seems to be too much. And it's funny because I think any other given day, and for example, they've done this before against Optic Gaming. You've seen the series rewind. They've taken them down. But it's some reason a Championship Sunday brings out the best of some players and can honestly lock up others. And it's so interesting to see how that works and how some of those players can try and get over that hump that is a Championship Sunday and embrace that pressure, embrace that illustrious feeling that is going on a main stage and playing for your tournament, playing for that trophy. And shows it's just something that is still missing from these guys on TSM.
Yeah, they just seem to freeze on the Sunday and they don't find whatever form they were in on the Friday and Saturday. But I think perspective's very important here for me. It's easy for us to say, oh, TSM, you made it to the grand finals and you didn't make it happen. Or, excuse me, winners in the England finals, you didn't make it happen again. But perspective, last event, you were top 12. You're now top 3. That is a huge gap
100%.
that you have just made. And you're only together a short while. The sky's the limit for this team, as things are looking up.
You're so right there. It's funny because I feel like I can be a little bit harsh at times on some of these teams just because of how much I believe in them and their capability and what I've seen. And it's funny, especially with TSM, I have to remind myself, and I'm sure everyone else is at home, that they have just made a change. It's been 2 years since Manny has come onto this roster to create this full force that is this friendship group. And they have picked up where they've left off, but clearly have some work to do. And you're right there, Shuz. You know, I'm kind of talking about them as if they've been like this the entire time, and you know they've always been together because it feels that way.
And you'd be forgiven for thinking that because you see those 4 players and they were underperforming for so long that you expect them to be in this top 4, top 6 conversation a lot more consistently. But like we say, it was top 12 last event, top 3, something to hang your hat on, something to work on. Again,
similar to FaZe Dan, we're looking at the stats here. Firepower missing heavily on the side of TSM. I will say Soul Snipe, though, throughout that series, kept things together. He was continuing to try and push the boundaries as much as he possibly could, create some openings. I was really impressed there. And honestly, I would say every single one of them stepped up from what we saw from FaZe. How are you feeling right now about TSM, the rest of their journey this season, and really what they can hold on to coming off the back of, unfortunately, this loss here in the Elim Finals?
I think I would like to see a TSM versus Rebellion matchup to try and, like, maybe a third-place playoff at this event, honestly, because I feel like it's almost unfair Rebellion didn't get that chance, and maybe TSM would give it a good opportunity for them to try and just show what they're made of, because a 0-3-0-3, they just go out so flat after such an exciting tournament. It's such a shame for them, but I think that they have plenty to build on. Jersey's completely right, such amazing improvements from top 12 to top 3, but let's be honest, Optic are just a better team. FaZe are just a better team, and for good reason. They have been practicing more, they have more chemistry as well, because they've been able to have just the previous event and the previous experience through scrims and stuff, whereas on the side of TSM, they've had to make those changes, they've had to try and work on things yet again. I think they'll be back in the next event, and I'm excited to see what they offer there.
I'm very excited. It's funny, isn't it, with some of these tournaments so far this season, with how the bracket has gone, and it's gone very, very upside down at times. Certainly this one for sure. But you are left wondering those things exactly, Gaskin. What would it be like if they played this team? What would happen in those moments? For example, last event, it was SSG and FaZe, right? It was that battle, like, who's the true third, who's the true fourth, etc., so on and so forth. And I think we're also left with a lot of questions here for Shopify Rebellion and how they would also do against some of these Titans who are really turning up here today as well. So lots of questions. Hopefully, furthermore in this season, lots of answers coming our way as well. But we do have a grand final set in stone now. Let's take a look at the brackets and see the journey of some of these teams. And again, Optic Gaming with that clean run through the elimination bracket. You can't predict this stuff. This is just, it's insane that I'm staring at the same bracket for Optic Gaming as last event, and then they went on to win the entire thing, starting from round 1 here, Wes. They really do catch fire. These guys just need, I think they just need as much Halo as possible at this point.
Yeah, you guys are asking questions still left to be unanswered, and the big one is can anyone actually knock Optic Gaming out of a tournament? So far this year, the answer has been no, and there has been plenty of opportunity and chances for Optic's back against the wall to be knocked out, but they are as resilient as any team I have ever seen, and when they catch fire, watch out, because they are on a mission once again.
The question might be for Optic Gaming, is that where their main motivation comes from? Are they just a much better team when their back is against the wall, when they have no more chances? Because when we've seen them play like that, they've been flawless.
They certainly have indeed. I said it yesterday, point determined. They are the cockroach of the HCS, and rightfully so. And I will say it's not the best term Optic
We'll
Gaming.
work on it.
But
We'll
you
work on
can't-
it.
We'll work on it.
We'll make it
You
sexier.
can't kill
It's a
them, you
work
can't
in
get them out.
progress.
Exactly. No matter what you do, how much you tear them down, they just get right back up again and back to work they go. And they find themselves again in another grand final. And this team was built for one thing, and that's to lift trophies. And we'll have to find out if they can do just that against FaZe. I do want to say, though, folks, before we head to break, I want to give a massive, massive shout out, and I need you boys to help me here, for an exceptional historic moment in Halo. Command Station won the FFA, the first ever female to win an FFA on LAN. I just want to say, I got chills even thinking about it, but unbelievable moment for us girls. I'm so proud. I honestly, just incredible stuff. I think there's so much of a divide in gaming in general between male and females, and it's just incredible to see that gap close ever so slightly. And Command Station, you know, absolute hero in my eyes, so I'm so proud and well done.
And you think about the history of the FFA and the players we found through FFA that have found themselves on the main stage competing on the biggest and best teams. I'm just saying, maybe the writing's on the wall there, and if you are one of those squads that's looking to try and break into top 8, top 6, top 4, you look at FFA winners, so we'll see how far she goes.
I mean, it's a story as old as time. Hard work pays off. Command Station is a grinder, and she's put in so much work. It's no surprise she has this level of success. But I think the big thing here is you look at Halo Infinite and all the barriers that have been set up as far as Europeans placings-wise, as far as input-based being the most important. We see mouse and keyboard break into the top 6, and now we see a woman winning FFA. There are no such things as barriers. If you work hard enough, I think any wall is breakable. And I think that that's just an awesome mindset that continues to be proven right. Thank you, Halo Infinite, and thank you, Command Station, for doing not just the women, but the entire video game scene, competitive video game scene, justice with the performance this weekend.
Absolutely, and honestly, I think the next one for me is exactly what you said, Gaskin. Hopefully to find a woman as talented as Command Station on a team. I mean, last shot, that's how he got his breakthrough. He won the FFA, and he was phenomenal individual talent. I hope to see that happen at some point in the not so distant future.
Yeah, I think it's important to note as well, this hasn't been like an overnight success for Command Station. Like Wes said, she's been grinding day in, day out. Maybe opportunities can come her way now. Winning that FFA, she's been in finals time and time again, but finally able to get the job done. So massive shout out and inspiration, Command Station.
Huge, huge shout out. Congratulations once again. I hope everybody is getting so happy about that one, because huge breakthrough for all of us here in gaming. Well, folks, that's going to do it from the desk for now. We're going to head to a quick break. When we come back, it is indeed your grand final, and it has been set. FaZe versus Optic, battling it out once again on the main stage. This is a tale as old as time as between these two orgs, and I can't wait to see who comes out on top. Stick with us, folks. We'll be back right after the break.
Party's over.
2 would probably be, yeah. Jesse gets kind of like toxic.
I'd probably say you. Wait,
I mean, it depends. Like in events, yeah, probably trash talk more, but like.
Do you mean in game chat, like in matchmaking?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I get so angry when I play matchmaking sometimes.
This guy right here. This guy.
No one really. Yeah. Maybe me, but not really.
Probably me.
I love it. That's harder.
Actually is. Hey, I'm gonna say you. Like, are you on the?
I'm gonna say me. Fuck it. That's actually all Joey. I'm not even kidding. This dude loves talking. 100% Joey.
I'm a bit of a talker.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Actually, my copy, and I'm a bit of a talker. Personally, I like the idea of casting. Like, I love watching Halo. I love talking about it and like theorizing over different things that people are doing. So I don't know. I find it really interesting. I've also casted for like a couple of European small tournaments, and I really enjoyed it. So it would be something I'd like to do in the future for sure.
Probably me.
Yeah, a commentator, probably. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Wow. I mean, blatantly you. Like what?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with me. Like,
I could do that. I can do that. You got the good looks.
appreciate that. You could be the stage host.
Want more Halo action? Subscribe to the Halo Esports channel for official HCS highlights, behind-the-scenes content, and player spotlights that take you closer to the pros. Stay in the loop with official updates, Halo Esports history, and our HCS and Community Top 10 series. Don't miss a second. Subscribe now.
Hello DreamHack and hello Halo fans from all across the globe, and I hope you're all tuning in because this is going to be a killer of a championship Sunday. We do have our grand finals happening very shortly here at DreamHack, but before we get started we need to make sure all of the players are ready to go, that main stage is locked in and loaded, so why not bring one of our favorite people on to the sofa, I was going to say desk, to talk about a few little things. Richie Himes, hello, welcome to Championship Sunday. How you doing?
They're whistling for you.
They are.
That's crazy.
You got some
Appreciate that.
fans.
I get no
Yeah,
whistles.
it's been a great tournament so far. Lots of crazy upsets
Insane.
today. I think it's not even new. We're ready for grand finals. Pretty exciting times. But yeah, let's talk some S&D extraction.
All right, so what have you got in store for us? What's been going on in your world, Richie?
Yeah, so Halo Studios has partnered with Forge Hub for an S&D extraction map contest, and we've gotten almost 50 submissions thanks to all the Forges out there for all the hard work. $20,000 in prizing.
Okay.
And we got top 10 winners that we can get
Top 10 winners. All right, let's get to it. I mean, I'm excited to find out. So we're going to go for number 5 first, right, Richie?
That's right.
Okay.
All right.
So,
yes.
Without further ado. Who is the fifth position? We are doing this live.
Опа, слышишь, будут показывать, короче, для S&D Extraction, короче, карты топ-5. Abrasion, Extra Dota, ну-ка, 5-е место, прикольно.
Congratulations, Extra Dot. Fourth, we have Access Code by Unknown. Access Code. Access Code is actually one of my favorites.
Access Code. Вот это, кстати, даже... Вот это лучше даже. А, слышишь, это Скоробей застрял, да? Врос.
Up at third, we will have Mortar by Rat-a-tat.
Okay, let's see it. Congratulations, guys.
Mortar. This was one Hellstown was popping off.
Mortar.
Big shout out to him
Та-та-та.
at the studio, but a lot of
3-е место, ну хз.
just like
Ну, такое.
This is going to be its own like unique recipe when it comes to the S&D mode.
It reminds me of like old school CS maps a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? Getting that vibe. Love that. Congratulations, guys.
Old school CS map, слышишь, говорит. Old school Counter-Strike, Hollow. Затихаем. Ну, это самая маленькая, самая быстрая. Это, кстати, плохо, как по мне.
You're able to pretty quickly get some sight lines. So how do you play based off that information was something key for this one specifically, but we really enjoyed this one as well. Obviously, second place is pretty good.
Congratulations, second place. I gotta say,
А ну, первое место.
for a little bit of a fast-paced map, why not? You have some incredibly fast-paced, kind of like tweaky kind of players here. I would love to see what they would do on that.
That's going to be the bounce specialty right there.
It certainly will be. Okay, so without further ado, looking home, first place goes to.
Congratulations for our first place winner, ADSR with the name Ashore.
Here you have it, folks. Wes,
Wow.
tell us about this one.
Alright, so this one has a man cannon on it, and we obviously saw the man cannon very early on, and we thought we'd like start by trolling, because how many man cannons have you seen in competitive Halo or any like ranked form? Well, actually, it plays so well. I love this one. The sight lines are so perfect as far as long-range combat opportunities. If you want to try and force that, as well as being able to get close up and personal, if you're able to close those distances. But I think that this by far was my favorite of the experience, and I love the idea that it actually got first place because I wasn't personally a voter, so I was very concerned as where this would fall. But love the hell out of playing this, and I can't wait for the public to see it.
Yeah, this is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Aesthetics alone, unbelievable. Love the name as well. But this looks like it is very promising in terms of gameplay.
Да.
I mean, I can imagine.
Во-первых, самая большая. Во-вторых, тут много вот таких секций. Больших секций. Но при этом есть объекты, за которыми можно укрыться.
So perfectly well done that I think it really made it to where it is in first place.
I also saw like inside the warehouse section there was like here it is there on A, little clamber. Can you clamber up that? Is that little peek through there?
That's an initial spawn for the attacking side. So yes, you can get up there for some deep sight lines, but you can't do a ton of work from there. You're gonna have to advance on the map, especially when you're on offense, in order to get that extraction point initiated.
Реально, так классно, что они не забыли про этот режим. Ого, видишь, и раздали всем денежки. О, нам показали еще с 10 по 6. Класс, то есть теперь у нас есть 11 карт на S&D Extraction. S&D Extraction coming this summer, йоу. Когда? В августе, что ли? Уже ж summer.
Congratulations indeed, and congrats to ADSR. Incredible stuff, first place. Richie, thank you.
Что у нас по качеству?
Remember, S&D Extraction is coming this summer. You have all excited to see how this one is playing. You're very excited, I know it. Amazing stuff. Let's get into the rest of the business for today, which of course is your grand final. And we have two very impressive teams on our main stage.
Это не то слово, блин, impressive. Ё-моё, Джиджибет добавил Grand Finals. Так, карта первая. Кто же возьмет карту первую? Это, конечно, вопрос.
all comes down to this here at DreamHack for your HCS Open. On one side, you've got FaZe, who have really done it to that bracket. No matter what came their way, they managed to get all the way through so clean, so calm, so collected. And after gaming well, they just love a challenge. I'm convinced it has to be elimination round 1, all the way back through to a grand final. Unbelievable stuff. And I think they're going to have to dig deep here. I think both teams are going to have to find the very best of themselves on that main stage to get this job done. My biggest question to you, Wes, is we just had 2 3-0s. Positive start to our championship Sunday, and it wasn't something we were used to. I might have cursed it, because I said we'd had 8 so far in the entire weekend. We had 8 at Arlington, and I thought we were going to see plenty more, and I just absolutely cursed it all.
Don't worry, Dan first. He said both his series would be 3-0s last night.
It's him. Forget it, I'm fine. It's him, 100%. Let's talk about Optic Gaming. They've got another big mountain to climb here. This is going to have to be 2 best of 7s that are won by them in order to get this done. Optic have done this before. They have that in the bank. That is great. All well and good. But it is a different team they're coming across, and also a team that they lost to previously. So when they're going up against FaZe, what do you need to see out of Optic Gaming, or have you seen it already today that they need to switch up in order to face someone like you guys?
I've seen it already today. I saw it in Arlington. Nothing gives me a doubt that Optic will compete for this championship, will make this a series, and push this to a second best of 7. This green wall team, I mean, what can we say that we haven't already said? Because this script has already been given to us back at the first major, and it's once again Arlington, or here in Dallas, that Optic have caught fire. And I'm looking at how quickly is this first series, because I need to see FaZe play great in the biggest moment of their tournament loss.
I will say one thing that I have noticed difference maker-wise is Legend on set. Quieter the last 2 days. Today, unbelievable turnout from this guy. He has been a force on every single map, in every single chance he has got. And that for me is what scares me the most, I think, for any competition against Optic, because Legend is on one today. And like, if that man is doing what he does best, it's very difficult to stop.
I think when you talk about players, you talk about consistency, what level they tend to play at. I feel like Legend's floor is so high that when you see him playing at his best, it stands out so much. Like, and he does a lot of it without power weapons. He does a lot of it just moving around the map and using that bandit and being such a force. Because the individual fights, it's so rare you see him lose them. He's so good at choosing, if he has the advantage, to continue with that fight or disengaging to look elsewhere if he doesn't have that shield advantage. He's just played some phenomenal Halo today, barely making the mistake, but he's going to have to continue to do that if Optic want to win it.
And as we look at the road to the finals, let's not forget, it looks awfully similar to Arlington in terms of getting better and better as the weekend has gone on. Take a look, lost to 2 3s, 3 2s, 3 1s as we go, but then today, as you said, Lottie, 3-0. We talk about Legend and the MVP performance he's already kicked off today with, but don't forget he was last year's MVP for this season, best player in the world, and he has been fairly quiet throughout the first event. It was Renegade that was really known to be the MVP of Arlington, and how dominant of a performance that was. But that's what makes this Optic roster so scary, is that they have 4 guys that at any point in time they can be the best player in the server against any team in the world. And if you even look back at the last
Что они ляпнули?
3,000 damage more than anyone else in the server. So Formal also kicking off Sunday with that at a very high level. Everyone on Optic seems to be
Legend, best player in the world. Так, надо вот это сделать сейчас. Так, надо вот это сделать.
Sometimes what we don't talk about is what happens if there is a particular individual to have a quieter game. We've seen that Legend can have quieter-ish games, going positive, no problem at all, but everything is fine and falling into place because he's got the other guys backing it all up. Is there somebody on Optic that can't have a quiet game? Is there somebody you think has to be playing their A game at all times in order for this roster to do what they do best?
I think this roster is at its best when Renegade is at the helm of the ship, and Renegade has to have another great MVP style of a grand finals for this team to really push this to a second.
Покажите, какая первая карта будет. Я должен понимать, на что рассчитывать.
Renegade still can be loud enough to get the job done, almost by himself in that regard. So I'm looking at him to say, hey, can you find some consistency here? Because FaZe, on the other side, have been consistently great all weekend long. So this is greatness versus greatness in the grand finals.
Let's talk about the other team here. We've got FaZe, and exactly as you said, Wes, greatness coming from every single angle as you look at this team, even to the coach. Some big things have been happening on this roster, and step-ups are being made. And I think they need to be on that mark, the exact same level they've been at all weekend long.
Если что, я сейчас комментарии не читаю.
I just want to ask you about some of the individual talent that we have on this team. You know, it's really important that they step up to the mark. Who would you have right now your eye on FaZe to really kind of be that outstanding shiner, like a Renegade, like a Legend, etc., to really try and counteract what they're going to be delivering?
And to be honest, it's one man and one man only. It's Suppressed, his first ever grand finals appearance. You can tell it means a lot to him, right? How long has this man grinded? How long has he worked for this moment? How long has he watched trophies be hoisted over the years? Now this man on your screen, in his first ever grand finals appearance, you can even tell maybe a little bit of trepidation side of the stage, and he's ready to go. Ready to hoist a trophy from the winner's side of the bracket. That'll be the task ahead of him.
Indeed, they do have that advantage. They have a lovely, lovely cushion of that one entire series. They have to get it done in one, and that is it, folks. Here you can see their mode records and ranks right now, and it's looking pretty good. You know, I think in Oddball, fourth, going against probably the best team that we do have in Oddball is a little bit scary for them. Same with Neutral Bombs, and that Stronghold is a bit of an outlier for them as well. Wes, what have you noticed about their Strongholds and the issues there?
The Strongholds are so topsy-turvy. It's just that style of mode that once control is gotten, how long can that team keep control? The big thing for me is how quickly can FaZe get off of these bad situations, these spawn traps that they get put in, because Optic will put you in a blender if they get full map control with power weapons and whatnot. They will split spawn you. They will force you to, like, situational Halo is going to be so difficult in those moments that when you're on your back feet, you're going to have to respond with greatness and make an individual play to at least subdue some of the pressure that Optic are going to be throwing at you. So a lot of responsibility thrown on everybody as an individual. Hey, you're not going to have help this life. Can you get me one?
One thing I want to highlight about those FaZe records as well is the certain type of game types that they have the most success on are the ones where they're setup orientated. You have the Slayers, where it's a very simple objective, it's play for kills, King of the Hill and CTF as well. It's the ones where you have to be a little bit more of a unit flowing around the map, where they lost records starting to kind of go against them a little bit in comparison to those other game types. So taking a look at this particular grand final, this first best of 7, you have a King of the Hill to start, good news for FaZe. Then you have a Slayer game 2, where they've had so much success, they've been the best Slayer team here at the event. So I keep saying about how you don't get a better opportunity than this for FaZe to win a grand finals. You're coming from the winner's side, you have to win 1 of 2 series, and seeing 2 game types at the start here that favour you in the records you have so far has got to fill them with confidence.
Looking for a hot start, honestly, on both sides of that stage today. Cannot wait to get into this, folks. DreamHack, this is the moment you've been waiting for. The trophy is on the line. Our 2 teams are ready to go. FaZe versus Optic. The grand final starts right now.
Well, a weekend that has been full of surprises may have one more in store here as we approach our grand finals here at DreamHack. It has been an incredible tournament, like I mentioned, full of game 5s, full of upsets, and the 2 teams that are on our main stage right now have different stories they want to conclude. For Optic Gaming, it's about going back-to-back. It's about a second elimination bracket run that results in a championship. But for FaZe, it's a first
Слышишь?
season
Видно?
Packed house all weekend long here at DreamHack, and of course the grand history of the tournament. That is all people will remember
Дядька,
about
чуешь?
the game and take these series. However, if FaZe takes it, it is historic. It changes the course of the season and their year without a doubt. Only one of those stories will prevail at the end of this grand final.
Both teams coming into this grand finals with perfect results in their previous matches, but you're gonna have to be more than
Блять, подожди, тут эти играть начали.
exceptional to lift the trophy here in Dallas. As we start off with our first game of the series, King of the Hill on recharge, and looking at the map records, like I said, Andy, this one FaZe will like the look of.
Trace to open things up here, and as we said, suppressed his first ever grand finals appearance, a household name in professional Halo, but now finds himself with an opportunity to take home a trophy. Let's see what he and the rest of FaZe Clan can do here in game number 1.
First camo you saw was burnt bottom middle, so no real impact for that. Suppressed though, already having an impact here on the map. He's looking for a triple, but he's only going to find the double. 3 dead though. For Optic Gaming, Legend finds himself as last alive.
Так, так, что, будем выбирать? Я сохранил. Вот. Поубираю все ненужные. Па-па-па-па-па-па-па-пам. Так, остановить и начать. О, еще раз начать. Вот. Сейчас я проверю, оно сохранилось. Погнали. Лоту номер 11. Двадцать два. 22. О, смотри, есть победитель. Flare Might победитель. Это лото 20. Лото номер 11, 22 номерок. Теперь лото номер 12. Погнали. Семнадцать. LJ 670. Вот так вот. Так, значит, лото номер 11 победитель с номерком 22. И лото номер 12 победитель с номерком 17. Все вот так вот. Отлично. Так, ага, я тебя понял. Угу. Понятно. Так. Так, а запись что, не шла? Так. Ну что, нормально идет. Нормально идет. 3-1 сразу, слышишь, оптики. Тащит.
Legends also just being an absolute pain. He's going to go bottom blue. Just continuing to poke around and look for that camo. And by the time they do all this, camo's already out. It's a really nice camo management and camo counter from Optic Gaming. Take a look. 2 players bottom middle. They keep a player at batteries angle to shut down the camo option. And it's a really nice neutralization there of the power-up. And how frustrating is to play against Optic? You're seeing it from the point of view of Trippy there. You know, he broke about 3 or 4 shields, but none of the kills get picked up. He's doing everything he can to put Optic under pressure in those gunfights, but just to help the bait and switcher from Optic too strong in those situations, and now they're 60% of the way to closing it out game number 1. You get the feeling that Optic only has one speed on this championship Sunday. The speed at which they went through the matches earlier today were unbelievable, both of their series, and now they're bringing that right into the grand finals as well. 16 and 11 for Renegade, 15 and 9 for Formall. The man on your screen gets the beat down, doesn't connect the shot this time around. Faze have some numbers. Now, let's think about this for a second here. Still plenty of time left on the game clock, like we mentioned, and 3-2 feels like a very different game here if Faze can close out this bottom middle hill. They have taken a lead. They still have to secure a win this next gunfight if they want to make it to 3-2. Big moment indeed. A lot of game talk, as we said. All going to come down to this second hill. 2 dead for Faze, though. Not going to be easy here. Okay, he's going to be left on his own as well. Oh, wins a big fight, but Legend is there to trade it out. Trippy goes in for the trade. 4 dead, though, on the side of Faze, and Optic will step back into this hill. Oh, they're flying, and they're going right to Trippy's spot. This is a risky push. They're all inning this push here. It's really risky. They have to. They have to try and force it. They can't let Optic take this last bit of time. They have to keep contesting this bottom middle hill, as we have a 2v2 on the map right now. This is a big 1v2 now. Trippy was the only player alive for just a second. Now comes in for the respawn, though. Trippy gets his kill onto Formall. Suppress now off the respawn. He's able to pressurize Renegade in this tower, and Faze are inside that hill once more. Here they come, Suppress so well off of gold here. Only a few more takes before they hit the second hill. Formall finds one. Flame now comes in from Renegade. He gets the call. Now there's 2 players weak. It's 3 dead. Here for Faze. Trippy last alive has to make a hero play onto this hill. Not going to be able to. Optic will step in, and Optic will be up by 1.
Хорошо.
Doing everything they can with repeated gold spawns to try to fly at the bottom middle hill, but as you can see, easier said than done. Being forced time and time again to keep their teammate alive, and they're able to do it over the course of 2 spawn cycles, but they were no match for Optic's early game. Those opening 3 hills were dominant. Very, very impressive start from Optic, continuing the momentum that we just saw from their win against TSM in that elimination bracket final. Now they have to keep this momentum going. Faze started to work their way back into that game. It could have been a very different final minute or 2 had they secured what was a hotly contested bottom middle hill. But Optic, as we've seen so many times in this tournament, the big moments are the ones that they come out on top of. Formall 22 and 11 with just shy of 5,500 damage. The lead
Неплохо.
just about every category.
А GGB там где-то спит вообще. Тоже карта 2 сейчас будет, а они до сих пор думают что-то. Капец, конечно.
He did not at all. At that point in the game, he was 14 and 9. Here he's already gotten to the 16 kill mark as well, so right up there with Formall throughout the majority of the game. And as we said, we saw Faze opportunities to take control of the game. Optic did so well to trade out every single kill. That's another example of doing exactly what they needed to on the map. These final moments here, you can see that the spawns were staggered on both sides, so everyone was kind of scrapping and trying to push towards this hill, but still a little bit of patience here from Renegade. Takes it on. Nice simple double kill to force Faze out of that hill. The rest of Optic spawn close enough to just get inside of it. Get those last few scrap seconds and make sure that that victory is secured. 4-1. The win here for Optic on game number 1. And just to remind you, this was a game type that Faze would have favored going into this series. King of the Hill they've been pretty good at, but one thing they've been extremely good at is Slayer, which we
we find ourselves going towards now game number 2.
Take a look at some of the matches so far. The grand final record between these map sets, of course, everything prior to this grand final. Slayer Solitude, as we had mentioned earlier, heavily in favor of FaZe Clan at 3-0. Optic Gaming 4-3, so they've seen their fair share of losses on this map. FaZe right now coming in undefeated on this exact map game type. It's an opportunity for them to tie up the series.
FaZe are going to have to show something in the objectives, but if they're going to get the chance to do so, they need to secure these Slayers. 50 kills to win here. We know the camo is going to be a big influence on how these kills start to fall, as well as that shock rifle, which everybody is going to want to get their hands on. Now, if FaZe do get it in their hands, Andy, I want to see them use it. Put it to use. Don't try and keep it out of the hands of Optic. Try and take some heads.
Ой, тут я хз, если честно, что сейчас будет. Two dead inside.
Will get taken down in that fight, but does take 4 more down with him. Well, FaZe certainly do with a combination of players. And Suppress with that repulse wins a big individual fight. Bound will go down as well, even though he had the shot. As Trippy secures the double kill, it's FaZe with a no lead. As Trippy goes down, but Foul's got that shot rifle now.
That really has been the theme so often this season. Before you can even get the sentence out that the team has taken the lead, it's often tied right back up. How about that camo deny from FaZe? Penguin equalized it from S4 really nicely to keep this game now all knotted up.
How aggressively FaZe are pushing, by the way, onto those respawners from Optic. It's 2 dead on the side of Optic. It's a 10-9 lead here for FaZe. I don't think that's an encouraging sign for FaZe. They've been a little bit critical sometimes about how sometimes they can play a bit slow or slow to recognize when they have advantages on the map, but that showed that when they do feel like they have those, they're not going to be afraid to push it.
Everything going to slow down for just a second before this KO. You thought. Suppress hits a beautiful shot at top mid. Eventually will be taken down. 3 falls, so Falcon is your only player alive. And a tricky piece of timing, and he will fall with camo coming up top mid here in 10 seconds. About 1 more battle before that camo can be grabbed.
Trippy already weak down on the dip, but Trippy with perfect shots for Renegade. Will remind him that you've got to be perfect in your own shots to win some of these fights. Falcon comes through and wins a big fight himself. Legend does not put that shock rifle to use. With the pace of this game, Andy.
I'm telling you, Optic's got 1 speed today. And you just fly at your opponent as fast as possible. And so far, it's also been as efficient as possible. Because despite the speed, they've also played nearly perfect. They go up by 1 here with a camo grab as well.
Well, the camo goes into Optic. Which means bullets can be fired. And FaZe find themselves 3 dead. It's a 4-kill advantage with camo still in the hands of the Frenchman. Sabri now jumps up to top middle. Does his best UAV impressions. He looks all the way around the map here to try and spot out the members of FaZe Clan.
1 down. They need to play this carefully. Shot coming up at 10 as well. Let's get to a listen here on the comms and off the gaming.
Пипец, шоплики творят. Сейчас опять выиграют. В шоке. Не, жестко брови не идут. Офигеть. Офигеть.
He lives on the Camel player to take the 1v1, and then the help eventually comes from the loop class and poster spawners to keep this game within one.
Tie game, 34 apiece. Legend with the kill onto Falcated. Renegade will make sure this game stays tied up as well. Penguin will get that kill.
Охренеть.
As we enter the back end of this
Фейс разогрелись.
one kill. This game can change very, very quickly, especially with Legend flying into the hotel to finish off that damage.
Renegade yet again, by the way, 11-8 in this game as well, in a game that they're tied up. Who continues to perform.
Ой.
How long can he do this? He's keeping it up still.
Aggressive on the damage bot. Middle gets that kill. Again, a 1 kill advantage here for FaZe. And Penguin will win that one, and the double kill will keep FaZe in the most
Into the danger zone in terms of the final stretch of the game. They still up now by 2.
So the pace of this game has been electric on both sides as Penguin gets another kill. Let's Scarper in, but it's a 2v2 split. That's Formal recognised brilliantly there. Didn't have the time to push in on that as the spawners were coming in. Also knowing the camo's coming up means now it will be 3 dead for FaZe. Formal alive as everybody else from Optic picks up the kills, and Optic are now.
V2 Formal also dodges all of the grenades
Идут
around.
плотно.
Stays alive, does not shoot Trippy to make sure he maintains camo, and now they're up here 47 to 48 to 43.
3 dead here for FaZe. This could be the home stretch for Optic Gaming. Formal with the beat down. The trade comes in from Renegade.
Ну, оптики взяли второй, хотя могли слить.
Unreal, how good have they been in the Slayer late game? Time and time again, they pull away from a
Я в шоке.
in the mid-40s. 1 kill to go.
They got FaZe trapped here. Suppress gets one, but Formal trades it out with a
Что творят оптики? Я в шоке.
Optic Gaming, who pick up the win here in the Slayer and are already up by 2 in this series.
I saw a movie awfully similar to this one not too long ago.
Not too far from here either.
It's true, about 19 miles from this exact arena, and only about 5 weeks ago, if that. Optic Gaming takes the first 2 games yet again of Grand Final number 1. As a formal chant erupts in the building, and for good reason. Optic Gaming take it 50 to 45. Mark, how good have Optic Gaming been in the Slayer late game? It feels like every game that we've seen in these game 2s, these game 5s, take a look at the damage as well, has gone to essentially a tie game at 40. Across the entire arena, Optic Gaming part of so many of those, and they just have unbelievable ice in the late game to close it out.
Yeah, remember, this is FaZe, who have been number 1 ranked in Slayers so far this tournament, so they certainly have not been any slouches when it comes to this particular game type. There's a lot of moments in it from Optic as well where you felt like a few kills got away from them. Big individual fights being won with no shielded players, like this one from Penguin. But I love to talk about the decision from Formal. Right at the end here, it's a 2v2, he gets damage onto a player, but the call obviously comes that camo is up. We have mid-map control. If he pushes in and tries to kill that player that he's done damage to, he's probably pushing into spawners, he gives away a death, and he risks giving up mid-map control as well. So just having that big picture in your head, so important for those close game situations. I think Formal really needs to be credited for the decisions that were made in that play.
If you're just joining us here in the arena or online, first of all, welcome to another grand final that's shaping up to be quite a series. Optic Gaming has once again taken games 1 and 2 just like they did in Arlington to try to reset the bracket. And they've looked dominant in doing so. However, it's worth noting, we haven't talked about it yet because games 1 and 2 were rightfully such a focus. Games 3 and 4 are both new game types that Optic themselves would tell you are not their strongest game types. It's Neutral Bomb Aquarius and CTF Origin. So despite the fact that FaZe Clan has now dealt their first loss of the season on Slayer Solitude, they have a chance to mentally reset and
Пипец.
lock in for two of the newer
Neutral Bomb сейчас будет. А тут могут Фейс выиграть. Slayer, скорее всего, потом опять выиграет Optic.
Optic Gaming not only have to win this series in front of us, but have to win a second best of 7 should they reset the bracket. FaZe only need to win one of these series to be crowned champions. So FaZe have to keep that in mind here, because Optic, the pace they're playing at and the ruthlessness that they're showing right now, FaZe need to make this series feel a bit longer. Make this series go the distance, knowing that if they put Optic under pressure, Optic can't afford to make mistakes in these series.
Take a look here. Optic Gaming, even though they would tell you themselves, you might have heard on the Optic podcast, but they are not a good bomb team. I tell you what, the grand finals at Arlington, as well as this graphic, tell me that they're actually quite good at a lot of the new game types, despite the fact they keep saying they're not too strong on them. 2-0 over Gen G on Fortress, we saw that one. A 1-0 win over Shopify and TSM, and also another 2-0 over Envy. 3 of those are on Aquarius, and guess what? We're headed there next in this exact game type. So you're hoping that FaZe instead goes for previous records and hasn't seen that graphic, because that could be a heartbreaking one. But I tell you what, one thing that's so interesting about this Optic Gaming roster is whenever we have gone to a grand finals where there's a reset potential, you have to think about the fatigue of a team. I'll come back to that, though, because I do want to look at the game types that are coming up in the series.
Yeah, I mean, it falls into, it's one thing to hear from Optic that they don't think they're great on the new game types. Maybe it's just speaking to how good they think they are at the other game types, because that record right there, 4-1, is pretty impressive when it comes to Aquarius Neutral Bomb. And you look at the FaZe side, it's 2-2. So Optic have a chance here to go up 3 in the series. That record for FaZe, probably one of the weaker ones they have across the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I think looking at a 4-1 record and a 2-1 record, so 2 even records on both of the next 2 game types, which could be the series deciding game types for Optic Gaming. Certainly even more reasons for the Green Wall to be excited about what is to come here. Just to finish that earlier thought, with some teams, when you look at a grand final and a reset potential, you have to ask yourselves, and we do, of course, as casters, what is the stamina and what is the endurance of these players, right? Because when you think about how difficult it is to do back-to-back best-of-7 series and win them both, throughout history, there have been players that have kind of longer endurance, a lot of veteran experience, etc. With Optic Gaming, you never wonder. You're thinking they are so locked in and ready to play 14 games if they need to, without a doubt. And it shows once again, it's a very, very strong opening from Optic Gaming.
Certainly is. I mean, this is why they win championships, right? And just something to highlight as well. We're talking about how Optic are looking to go back-to-back as an organisation here with the wins. Well, for Bound and Legend, this would be 5 events in a row that they would win, if I'm not mistaken. Well, the 5 peak. How many players in Halo history have managed to pull that off?
I think you're looking at, I know it was discussed also on with Maniac and APG and Lethal as well. You're looking at, an Ogre roster, certainly some type of STK 3D FB roster, I'm sure has done 5 in a row. I'll just leave it at that, though. It's probably the Ogres and friends, plus maybe 1 or 2 players here or there. It is a very rare achievement.
Certainly a very select group of players. I'm sure for the Halo Championship Series as well, and a lot of the North American players probably think, where did Legend spawn from? Because, a lot of, historically, the European teams haven't been able to go on to win championships, haven't been able to get towards the grand finals. Legend spawns in. And I've talked about his story a lot. He gets the opportunity to join Space Station, wins the World Championship, wins multiple events, season MVP. Now he's going into a bracket of a player who could win 5 events in a row. It's an incredible rise. Unbelievable.
Some people play through the high ping. He was raised by the high ping. Molded by it. This man did the equivalent of playing with a batting weight on for his entire career and realized, hey, I might be pretty good at this game. And of course got so good, essentially, that the world could not ignore him. And now he finds himself not only on a World Championship roster, but now, as you said, a potential to win 5 events straight. Now under the Optic Gaming banner, and it would, of course, be a back-to-back for Optic if they can do it here, but there's a whole lot more Halo yet to play if we want to have that conversation. For 2-0 in favor of Optic Gaming over FaZe Clan. Neutral Bomb Aquarius, an opportunity for FaZe to get back into this series.
One thing that FaZe aren't afraid to do here in Aquarius as well is grind out these results. We've seen them win Aqua Flags in LAN tournaments 1-0. We've seen them grind out 1-0 bomb victories. But Neutral Bomb has been a pretty happy hunting ground for these 2 players in particular. Bound and Form on your screen. Both of them over a 1.3 KD and over 2 kills per minute, first and second in the stats.
Not too bad. If you want to have two players ready to walk into a bomb game, how about the two top ranked overall in kills in the game type across all maps here at Dallas? And Bounce start things off.
Господи, оптики сейчас опять что-то раздают страшно. Так. Подвинуть, наверное. Офигеть, уже. Сейчас его убьют. Охренеть.
First 50 seconds of a neutral bomb game. Now you start to understand why we just saw that stat card on the screen and what this team is capable of here.
I'm shocked at what I've just seen. It's 3 dead again here. And it might be 4 dead. Trippy's no shields in the courtyard. He'll go down as well. FaZe can't spawn at the moment, let alone think about getting that bomb. It's another one here for Formal, surely, but suppressed. At least gets 1 kill. Formal had a little bit of a smile on his face there, haven't lost that one.
Yeah, suppressed maybe buys a tiny bit of time here for FaZe, but as we said, you really cannot overstate just how insane this opening and the series and the day has been for Optic Gaming. I think we're all wondering if FaZe is going to get back into the series at any point, but it is not looking like this game side will be the one just yet.
I wonder if FaZe can get out of their base at the moment, let alone back into the series. I don't think we've seen anyone from FaZe on the Optic side of the map, let alone the bomb. Another kill gets picked up here for Optics. It's going to be 3v3 momentarily, but Renegade with yet another. The bomb still progressing towards the FaZe base. FaZe are in the blender of all blenders at the moment. And finally Trippy with an individual...
Фейс, давайте пробивайтесь. Это капец. Я в шоке.
Well, finally FaZe will get across halfway on the map. They want to know what the other side of the map does look like, and they're finally starting to find that out. But with the camo in the hands of Renegade here, and him spying out and pinging frantically where he's spying FaZe members, Optic might be looking to collapse onto this, and they're already moving the bomb and progressing the bomb back onto the FaZe side of the map.
Look at this, Renegade, as you said, Renegade slow playing it for just a second, but decides to shoot. Stays alive in the connector for as long as he can. Now it's 4 dead, 2 alive for FaZe, so we'll see if they can start to advance the bomb here.
Really important here for FaZe that FaZe make something of this situation, right? They've been absolutely pummeled for the first couple of minutes in this game, but the score is just 1-0. Now that they get that 4 dead, they can do to Optic what Optic did to them. 1 kill gets picked up early here by Suppressed, but the flank coming in from Formal gives them 2 kills.
Formal either went connector or car 1 to get behind him there. It's a really nice push in the end to help them get out of their base. Really nicely done as the team was otherwise trapped.
Look at this as well, controlling the objective, controlling the bomb, forcing FaZe to turn around. Stop thinking about spawn killing and worry about what Formal's doing with that bomb.
В шоке.
Up to their usual tricks. Bomb gonna stick car 1. They're very happy with that one now with a 1 bomb cushion. They'll go back to slaying.
Formal's so sneaky. Trippy's completely lost it, and Trippy is going to pay for it as well. 2 dead here on the side of FaZe. Suppressed is trying to overextend towards top middle, but that camo coming up as well with numbers on the map and the bomb. Back close to this FaZe base. We're going to start to worry and feel that FaZe might be in a little bit of trouble here. 2 dead camo coming up, bomb almost in the base. Optic are looking for one here.
Flashbacks of Colossus matchmaking on Halo 2 launch week with the amount of nuke combo I'm seeing from Formal here. Just absolutely green gunning anybody that walks in the base.
Swing and a miss, but connects with the bandit. Formal gets another one as well. It's 3 dead. Penguin last alive. Bomb is on the spot. Penguin has to go huge. And Penguin does do exactly that. He keeps FaZe down by just 1 as the dominoes start to fall towards Optic. Maybe looking for that second up.
Longest spotted out again. Eagle Eyes coming in from FaZe repeatedly with the camo. It hasn't made the difference on the overall scoreboard, but time and time again they seem to be shutting down the camo pretty well. And maybe a moment to breathe here for just a second. As quickly as we say that, though, it's 2 dead from each side, so maybe FaZe will have to off this respawn now as they do get their 3rd kill. Traded out, though, for a momentary 1v1. But to try to compensate this action requires keeping up with every single play. Finally, the last 8 kills traded out essentially, and maybe a moment for FaZe to breathe and reset. Let's not forget they are still only down here 1-0, and despite the fact that Optic Gaming has 2 players on 12 and now Renegade at 13 kills, it is still just a 1-bomb game.
Shots from Formal, by the way, suppressed. Taken down. Formal comes out on that first battle and re-engages in the second one to get that double kill. FaZe 2 dead once again. But I think it's really important just to highlight here, even though Optic have been dominant, even though you feel like FaZe have lost 90% of this game so far, it's still the 1-bomb difference between the two teams, but that might be about to change. As Suppress is last alive, and Optic are arming that bomb once again.
One player rapping right now. Suppress is the only hope if they're going to get this stop. We'll see it again. No, he's taken down.
Охренеть.
Will go as well. And Optic Gaming needs no invitation. 3 dead for FaZe. Several will fall on Optic, however. It's really just all kills being traded out. Optic, very impressive. Let's not forget, there's been times where we've seen them overslay in bomb games pretty often coming up to this event. It seems like now, as soon as every piece of the puzzle is in place, they make sure the bomb is there too.
Yeah, they're bringing that bomb with them every time that they get a couple of kills. They're progressing it up the map. They are putting pressure on FaZe to not just call out where Optic members are playing on the map, but where that bomb is progressing as well. They're just looking to make sure there's no overextenders here from FaZe. Now he wraps back towards top pink. Trippy finds 1 kill though. Penguin going to be double teamed on the bottom of the pink tower as Renegade gets yet another camo here for Optic Gaming.
As things now go to 2-0 here, we can look at former stat line at 19, 10, and 6. Leading the entire game in kills. 1 shy of the assist leader. Suppress has 11 on the other side. And only 6 deaths in the game, leading in that category as well. When you talk about a man showing up on Championship Sunday, it's Formal. 3 dead yet again for FaZe.
Renegade taking on Falcade. Falcade wins the fight, but immediately found his death. Trade that one out. Keep an eye on where this bomb is at the moment. Sure, it's still down bottom middle, but it might start progressing towards the FaZe base once again here. It's found on our screen. Picks up a couple of kills, gets a beat down as well, and now FaZe find themselves 3 dead, and yes, indeed, look how quick and efficient Optic Gaming are.
Это капец.
The kills are picked up, the bomb's already been armed here.
Might have to drop a shoot here. Formal knows it, but a lot of players coming in through the pink zone. Very weak. He picks up a double. More pressure still coming in from the pink side, however. This might be a FaZe player out here 2v2 on the map.
Yeah, nobody just close enough to Formal there to help him out after picking up that double to block off the final 2 players who were trying to rotate in to clear that bomb out from FaZe. So, unfortunately for Optic, 1 player maybe just fell on the wrong time to leave Formal a little bit isolated, but
0-2, 4 минуты остается. Есть, конечно.
Starting to introduce himself to this game as well as another camo goes to Optic. FaZe have got to sort this out. They have lost pretty much every single power so far in this game, which is making it very, very difficult to get kills on the board, let alone get that bomb anywhere near the Optic base.
The Legend plays this so wisely. Make sure he's not in the sight line whatsoever. The patience to make sure he doesn't accidentally drop down. Picks up a double as well.
А, это еще последнее очко сейчас будет.
How many times have we said that? 3-4 dead for FaZe. Too many if you're a FaZe fan. The only real answer is to do that. Formal with another kill. 22 and 9. Formal on this game at the moment. Penguin will add another kill. Or should I say death to the tally here for Formal as Trippy will find 2. Optic Gaming find themselves 3 dead.
Remarkable. Formal now with that last string of plays leading in every single category and has a bomb arm to his name. You cannot say enough about what that man is doing here in this grand final, specifically in this game.
Chance here for FaZe though. They've got that bomb towards the base. They've got 3 dead as well. Falcade, even though FaZe have been pummeled for the majority of this game, are going to get an arm on the board here, and it's 2-1 with time still left in this game.
О, неужели FaZe хотя бы как-то продвигаются?
Showing that if they get the opportunity to get the bomb in the base, if they get the opportunity off the board, if they know how to get the job done. finally, Penguin will grab a power-up for them as well. It's 2 dead on the side of Optic. Penguin takes the 1v1 and wins it against Legend.
2 dead here in a minor man advantage. FaZe know they need to start moving this bomb, and that's exactly what they do.
Bomb hit. Penguin doesn't really want to be the player with this bomb in his hand with the camo. He wants to be the one influencing the fight. He's the one who wants to take the individual. When he has that first shot advantage, all of Optic trapped in the back of the base. 2 minutes left in this game. The camo disappears.
They're going to have heard that as well from Trim there. The push has to come out.
The Trend Sensor goes in here. That's going to give away all the positions of Optic Gaming, who are just waiting and hoping their grenades will connect. But it looks like damage advantage is FaZe's again.
Only 1 kill, though. Still a lot of work to do on the arm.
Renegade gets 1, though. That's going to slow down the push here from FaZe, but Valkated will clean up another. Legend, inside of the gen, will get the trade, and that trade is massive. For Optic Gaming, they can now get that bomb away.
And that cost a lot of time there. FaZe put a lot of energy, a lot of eggs into that basket. You have to wonder about the play call. Trippy hoping the damage might come in, but all of his camo dissipates, holding the bomb top util.
I think the frustration there, and you can understand why FaZe had to play that the way that they did. Optic are most likely going to have nades. They're going to have 2 nades each, which they can bank into anyone who tries to push from FaZe. And FaZe having just come into that situation, winning fights probably don't have the same amount of utility to use. So they have to try and wait those nades out from Optic. And eventually we're forced to make the play. Optic defend, and FaZe still chase the game.
And you're right, those pre-nades paid off. They've delayed a lot of time here. 47 seconds left on the clock. 3 will fall, however.
Да ну они не uspеют, походу. Давайте, чуваки. Да.
Huge grenade coming in from Bound though, because that's on the bomb carrier. That slows the bomb progress down. 2 dead aside. 27 seconds left on this game bomb for FaZe to pull off a miracle.
Valkated was hoping it'd be a free camo, but now him and Suppress are both in trouble. One of them should be able to get this camo, but they have to fly right now.
15 seconds left. 2v2 on the map. Penguin throws that one out into the courtyard. Somehow stays alive. Trippy's there as well. But Renegade, he'll find 1. He looks for 2. Renegade gets 2. Shuts the game
Все.
down. And puts
3-0 оптики опять сделали.
in the series.
Показывает. Ага.
What a game from Optic Gaming. And I cannot
Охренеть.
wait to pull these stats back up, because if I'm not mistaken, Formal not only had the amount of kills that he had, I believe he was 1 assist away from having more assists than anyone on FaZe having kills. Which is something I don't think I've ever said in a Halo tournament, let alone a grand final. Let me double check that. Formal goes 28 and 17 with 20 assists. Yes, 1 shy of Suppressed 21 kills, and I cannot remember the last time I've seen something like this in a grand final.
A KDA of 17.7 for Formal.
17,7 формул, да.
Some of those numbers are not like the others.
Yes. 2-1 the final score. FaZe do get that bomb planted and had Optic under pressure and an opportunity maybe to tie that game up. But the first 60% of the game, this is what we were seeing. It was just FaZe completely getting mauled in the back of their base.
And they barely got out a few times. It felt like they Suppressed, for example, pushing out and winning battles that he shouldn't have won. That was the only way they got out, was winning 1v1s where they managed to kind of win from a disadvantageous situation. And I tell you what, an interesting game for a number of reasons, but most importantly, for the sake of the series, it's another Optic Gaming win, but things got close.
Even Formal did it Optic were playing well, by the way, because usually if Formal loses that fight, he is furious.
Right,
but I think
he already had so much to be happy about before that.
Having just blazing FaZe for the first 2 minutes of the game, he's like, okay, you can have 1. But I just want to take a second and give you the opportunity to break down just how brilliant the opening was for Optic Gaming. They get 3-4 dead, and then they set up perfectly the full coverage of the map to spawn kill FaZe.
It really was. Also, plays like this, we got to take a moment. Look at how Snubbery plays that so well, because you, especially anyone who's played a lot of, Halo long enough, as well as Halo Infinite long enough, you come down for that melee, all of a sudden it's a wacky angle, and you've got back whacked, and there's the wrong metal in the feed that you don't think should be there. But I couldn't agree more. It was just the poking and prodding from Optic Gaming, the way they kept FaZe 2 dead for so long, has paved the way for a, so far, green wall across the series layout. They're 1 game away from sending us to a best of 7, and this has been one of the fastest championship Sundays we've seen so far, and continues to be fast. Take a look here at the CTF matchup at Dallas so far.
FaZe, perfect. Optic Gaming, not so much. Average margin of the win as well in CTF. Very, very impressive from FaZe. But those stats, you've got to take into account what's probably going through the heads of the players on the stage right now. It's a very different feeling if this was a 0-0 series and we're going into CTF as game number 1, right? Because FaZe have just been battered. It's as simple as that. Battered in that last game. Even though it ended up 2-1, so much of the time was spent on the respawn screen that it's difficult to keep your head into the next game and forget about how that last game felt. So first flag cap here could be really influential on if we see another game of Halo or if we reset the bracket here and go to a second best of 7.
Look at tribute stats so far as well. 1.54 CTF KD, as well as 6 caps. 10 steals, big numbers from him. So far outclassing Renegade, but it's been a different story so far this series. FaZe needs to be ready to play at a blistering pace in this game, but they also have to watch out. That is a very, very two-sided sword if you think about the opposite side of that blade. If they play this too fast and lose control of their base, they could see themselves on the receiving end of a double cap with the speed at which Optic Gaming is playing today.
Yeah, that's the level of Halo we're talking about. Coliseum capture the flag. Hugo 4 dead, and either team has rockets and a sniper rifle. There's a good chance you're going to lose 2 flags. That's how good teams can be when it comes to this particular game type, which I have to say, I love being back in the suite of game types we have for HCS this year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's provided a lot of, as we said, new action across the new game modes and new challenges, and so far, Optic Gaming talking about how this wasn't their strong suit, and Slayers weren't their strong suit, and you could tell, probably the Arlington elimination bracket run and this elimination bracket run has had something to do with it, but they have certainly brushed up on a lot of these game types. As you can see, it's all smiles on the face of Optic Gaming so far, and for good reason.
It's all smiles for Optic, apart from Legend.
Look at
Legend is looking at his monitor as if he's going to kill everything on
He
camera.
actually has been.
Which is what he does.
Yeah, that's what he's been doing, keeping the hands warm as well, and that man is focused.
So you guys stop enjoying yourselves. We've got a game to win here.
Love it from Legend. It has absolutely shown in the gameplay. Love the discipline that we've seen from him time and time again. How about, as we have a moment before this game starts, about his gameplay on it? King of the Hill. Solitude, it has been a different level of thoughtful, intentional gameplay. And you can tell with Legend's expression right now, it's because this man is absolutely locked in.
You've got the look of a man who's annoyed that he's not playing Halo.
Yeah.
He spent so much
I
of his
thought
life
the game was
playing
going to
Halo.
start.
Yeah, we just play more. What do we between games?
Capture the flags now, what is it?
And I want it to start right now.
The CTF Origin is where we're going to be headed. If we do get to a next game, though, it's going to be Slayer Streets, where FaZe can go back to that Slayer record. Even though they get that win on the board in game number 2, can rely on the fact that they know they're pretty good at the game type. And then the Streets 2, and it looks very, very different. So we're going to have to keep our eyes on if FaZe can take this one. This is the leaders when it comes to kills and KD for Optic Gaming in this grand final. That's a 1.44 and a 1.49 respectively for Formal and Renegade. But the damage dip, very notable. Formal is shooting everything.
Everything. How about 52 kills apiece? That is a wild stat line. When you talk about kind of spreading the work across an all-star god squad like this, the fact that they would each have 52 kills apiece, pretty wild to see time and time again just how much each member doing their part so far on another elimination bracket run so far.
It's interesting when we talk about Optic, we've sort of discussed it a lot. Our one player kills a big wild, but there's only so many kills to go around. Like, if one player gets plus 30, like
exactly.
nobody else can. Like, you can look at that and go, well, our Legend and Bound playing well. Look at their POVs. They're playing insane. Everybody's playing insane. And it's
that's how you get
it's adding up to map wins, right? And it's adding up to the domination that we're seeing.
And sitting backstage, to be honest, you and I, between the first series and coming back onto Grand Finals, it felt like no time at all. And I'm sure everyone here in the arena, as well as everyone watching at home, is thinking the same thing. But this has been one of the overall fastest championship Sundays so far, and that is largely because of the speed at which Optic Gaming has won their games and their series today so far. We just saw the Baseline boys, and you get to think, even without even thinking of where this series goes, they need some games on the board here just to stay alive, I would think, overall in terms of morale in the Grand Final.
It's quite something. Need to dig deep here. Find a little bit of maybe you need that conversation that's like, make someone laugh, puts a smile on their face, just breaks the ice a little bit, because it's been a difficult series for FaZe to find something to laugh about so far. But one game on the board, and things will start to feel a little bit different for them. We are now ready to go to CTF Origin. DreamHack, we having a good time out here in this grand final? That's what we like to hear.
Packed house yet again, and guess what? No goes, we are standing room only all the way to the back of the venue. Welcome to the grand finals here. If you're just joining us, 3-0 for Optic Gaming. They look to close out the grand final number 1 here. And if they do so, they will force us to a... The rush comes in.
Карту 4 погнали.
To finish that thought from sending us to a second best of 7. But for FaZe Clan to win, we haven't said it just yet, but it needs to be said. They will need to reverse sweep with 4 wins
Ага.
to close out the title.
4 wins, да ты шо?
All 3 players just flying G-slide towards the Optic members who are weak. There's 3 dead on either side at the moment, but the first spawners will be out for Optic. Found is looking for that sniper rifle at the moment, not sure where it has fallen. He does manage to collect it. Legend has rockets, Bound has sniper. FaZe, not a situation you want to be in here.
Let's see what Legend does. Only 1 rocket to play with, though, but you bet he'll put it to use, and of course he does. He takes out the kill. Tries to stay alive in cave, but not an easy thing to do. But when you're moving like this, you get your shield back.
He's also got the thrust, so he can reach out. He can give himself a second to get out of a sticky situation. They want to play with Dober. Still comes out of that fight with his life. 3 dead for FaZe. Finally, Suppressed puts him in the grave.
Finally taken down. Absolute back and forth. Just brutal. Exchange of kills off the opening. Really no advantage just yet, despite the fact that you had Legend staying alive much longer than he should have in his opponent's cave. Here comes the push yet again.
Legend's got the sniper rifle down. So off the spawn, he finds a couple of bullets to have some fun with. 2 more left in the chamber for the Frenchman here. There's 1 body shot. It's 3 dead again for FaZe. 2 off the respawn. Legend's got 1 bullet, but boy, can he put this to use.
See what he does here from the elbow. They have a lot of pressure coming in from both the elbow as well as the diving board. Going to meet some opponents here. Does not connect, however. That will likely buy FaZe a moment to push out of their base.
Trying to clear out Renegade. He's still in the cave at the moment. They managed to do so. 25 seconds or so until those rockets pop up on the map as well. Suppress playing the rocket stream, trying to pin Optic back as they spawn on the elbow.
As we said, it feels like it's a rare moment when FaZe has a second degree in any of these game types, and we generally never say that. Halo Infinite, yes, a fast-paced Halo title, but generally there's a little bit more time for play calling here. That has not been the case for FaZe. They're 3 dead again.
Fresh just came on spawn as well in the cave. It's a little bit of a staggered 4 dead situation for them, and again, they have to play on the back foot. Not a lot of progress up the map for FaZe at the moment. It's kind of a repeat of the opening that we saw in the previous game. But they just can't find the necessary kills to get up the map. They're 3 dead again here. Trippy lost alive.
See what Trippy can do, and Suppress off the spawn very luckily takes out Formal. That will once again give them just a bit of space, and that's an important trade as 4 will fall for Optic Gaming.
Renegade first off the respawn on the elbow, and finally FaZe can get onto the Optic side of the map. But Renegade off the respawn wins his fight.
Keep an eye on those rocks. Thrust up as well, so
first one gets 2.
Renegade does get the thrust, but I believe it's a rocket grab. Yes, from the side of FaZe. No, not yet.
Another one, and now the shots become more difficult for Legend as FaZe will pressurize him. The flag starts to move, and even though he gets the body shot, Penguin gets that flag out.
2 still dead for Optic Gaming. 3v1. Formal's the last player alive.
Давайте, FaZe, сделайте хотя бы 1 победу для красоты, я не знаю.
Well, he connects this rocket. Trippy will with the bullet from the sniper rifle. He's still down. Optic will have to force their way forward. Trippy can't connect this time around. Renegade's moving in to try and get that return, and I'm pretty sure they're going to do it. So, a scary moment here for Optic Gaming, but they do send that flag back home.
Certainly, and you could say for the first time this series, FaZe Clan showing up in a big way. That's 3 dead now for Optic, and the pressure continues.
They start to find a little bit of chemistry here. Killing spree for Trippy. 5 kills in a row. And they're going to have to summon Big Game Trip at this point, because this is Trippy. He's just struggling to find a little bit of momentum at the moment. As are the rest of his FaZe Clan teammates. 3-0 the series score at the moment. Still tied up in this game. No real moments where that objective has moved and we felt like there's an opportunity for that flag to be completely run back.
Yeah, big trades here coming in. Finally, 2 dead for both sides. As we said, FaZe putting up their best fight yet. Let's see how the comps are on the side of Optic Gaming, how they're going to finally break this FaZe wall.
Стенка на стенку идут. Красавчики.
Renegade spent a lot of resources on pre-rocketing the back of the base and then checking the back of the base. In the end, they get counter-capped on. FaZe takes a lead, as you say, 1-0. But FaZe finally with something to talk about. Showing some signs of life in this series. Renegade does have the sniper rifle. We'll find one. 2 dead here for FaZe as Optic continue to control this snipe side of the map. And it feels like doing it in true Optic Gaming fashion, right? Never the easy way. Set up once again. If they want to do it in this game, it will need to be a comeback story. 5 minutes on the clock. Okay, here's the footsteps. And we'll find the kill, but Falcao did take one to the grave before he went down himself. FaZe have got just under 5 minutes to hold on in this game. To get this game on the board. Nice body shot from Renegade, but not without damage being exchanged. Trippy flies in. Formal is there. After the no-scope from Renegade to keep his teammate alive. How much of those two have been watching each other this entire weekend? It's been amazing to see. Renegade, by the way, 17-9. Some of the most unbelievable consistent stat lines we've seen in the opening 2 events of a season. And he's not done yet. And now he's searching for a penguin. Can't quite find him, but finds the body of Suppressed. Knows the penguin's still alive somewhere or other. Gets the comms, gets the call out. Will get the cleanup with this grenade. 2 dead here for FaZe. And still a bullet to play with that doesn't connect this time around for Renegade. Comes around the corner with a sniper rifle and a terrorist for Penguin. He gets hit by both in the end. Rocket grab once again for Legend. Can they make it happen this time? It's the same exact setup. 3 dead. Rockets in hand. Can they do it? Legend's going to have to be the flag runner here. Look at that kill feed. If it's a FaZe member that goes down, there's a massive opportunity for Optic to run this flag. Remember, Legend still has these rockets to play with. Loses a second on the run, though. Loses a second based on the flag juggle. Has to burn 2 rockets. Has to burn both. And you have to wonder if the split second that cost them on the flag fumble will come back to bite them. It will. A triple kill for Trippy. 4 dead for Optic. Optic fluffed their lines. Cannot get that flag back home. Cannot get the kills they required to make that flag run cleanly towards their base. And Trippy clutches up with an initial double. The rest of FaZe deal with the rest of Optic. And now Optic have got to be careful that they don't get capped on themselves. They're still 2 dead and FaZe are moving this flag. Form was also weak here in the found. Good sober control for Trippy. Wins the battle. It's another killing spree for Trippy. And we mentioned now they need big game Trip. Well, he's 20 and 15 right now. He might be looking to make it 21. Renegade will win the fight. But it's 3 dead on the side of FaZe right now. And Bound will get the kill onto Falcao to slow this run down. But Penguin still alive, still being a nuisance under the base. Renegade has more work to do. Legend has to work here at Renegade. There's a cave player here, Suppressed, who wants to get a touch on this fountain flag. Now FaZe have a decision to make. Do we try and force this flag? Do we protect our own? The flag will be returned for Optic Gaming. As Renegade finds 2. A triple will open the door for Optic to get this flag moving. Formal, moving in, looking for that final kill. Getting that flag moving. Look at the move as well. It doesn't even bother with Penguin. They leave Penguin back.
Ха-ха. Красава, Trippy, давай. Дядя, давай, ты не вернул. Красава.
That are heart-wrenching for both sets of fans. 2 dead here for Optic. Bound going to be taken down as well. Formal's last alive here on the elbow. He's going to be dealt with as well. It's 4 dead. Trippy can run this flag towards the elbow. Renegade first spawner in the fountain. Might get the kill. Does not kill him. Does not cut him down. Suppressed holding down the snipe side angle. Second flag running for FaZe. Suppressed with a game in his hands. Penguin finds one though. Formal challenging from the window. Flag is down. And so are pieces of Formal's visor. That is another
this one home. And we're seeing FaZe and Suppressed as this second flag, yes, indeed, go home. Suppressed and the rest of FaZe fans showing up in a big way for the first time in this series. They are alive and they are leading by 2. That could be the dagger for game number 4.
3 dead for Optic again.
And boy, did FaZe need this. It cannot be understated how much FaZe needed this to believe they could stay in this series, to believe that they could hurt Optic.
Молодцы.
And these kind of
Красавчики.
shots, 4 Optic players will fall, will continue to build that confidence, kill by kill, shot by shot here from players like Suppressed.
Look at the damage from Suppressed. They're sitting front, diving board damage into 2 players. In the end, gets helped out as well. They're not done yet. 4 dead yet again.
It's a great lead for Suppressed in his first ever grand final. And now he gets the Rockets as well. 10 kills without a response. As he's looking for more, blind firing the Rockets, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, красавчик Пенгвин.
Tell everyone here at DreamHack that there's more Halo to play in this grand final.
What a game from FaZe Clan. It took a little while for them to get hot, but once they did, they changed the course of this series. Now, of course, still a very long road as they trail 3-1, but I think most importantly for FaZe fans, as you said, it's signs of life.
It's signs of life, and it's also, you're starting to see those moments of brilliance, which is what we talked about with Optic so many times. A big play from a Renegade, a former Brown Legend, pick your poison on the Optic side. But Suppressed and Trippy, one offensively with that sniper rifle, but one defensively. Trippy got so many important defensive kills to keep that game tied up initially at 0-0, where Optic was swarming all over their base.
So many times.
The great news for FaZe as well is once they got that flag moving, they did not make mistakes. They capped.
I cannot wait to see some highlights, specifically because Optic, time and time again, circles the time from the team in the back. You take a look at some of the best moments from that game, and there were many. Time and time again, FaZe had 3 or 4 dead with the Rockets wrapping elbow side. And to everyone's surprise, certainly ours and certainly theirs as well, unable to get those flags properly off the stand. This thing, let's not forget, 5 minutes in, we were still here 0-0.
It's amazing how FaZe get that first flag, and then they just look like a different team. Just completely look like a different team. Not the team that we saw. This was a big moment here. That looks like a big miscommunication from Optic. Legend looked like he wasn't sure where anyone was.
Looked like he was free-firing. Also, as we said, he doesn't flag fumble. That is about 1/2 second to 1 second where he's further down trench, and none of that takes place. He probably hits the G-slide all the way down to his side trench, and it could have been a 1-1 game. So look at this play from Suppress. I love it. Isolates, engages both, then ISOs the 1v1. The team in the back already knows we had to see it twice. As the team finishes that, he wasn't done here. Comes up elbow, stays alive with even more help.
Went to the fight against Renegade as well. A little bit of help comes in to help him do so. But I think the biggest shot, in my opinion, that Suppress hits in this game is when they're running that flag. That's the killing frenzy, by the way. 10 without response. Don't see that very often, especially in the grand final. They're looking for that second flag. Last player alive is shooting the flag runner in the back, and Suppress hits the headshot with that snipe on the elbow.
Look at both these guys, 25 kills, 50 kills with just the Suppressed Trippy duo. 1.32 and 1.39 KD respectively.
Shooting good, shooting great. They're going to have to continue to do that, though. If they want to pull this series back a little bit closer, it's 1 game on the board. It's the start of a comeback here for FaZe, and now we move in our series layout towards a Slayer. They lost the first one, but like we highlighted before any bullets were fired in this grand final, FaZe's Slayers this tournament, outside of that game number 2, have been flawless.
Really, really surprising to see the way that went down for Optic Gaming. They had so many chances, and how perfect have they been today? It felt like every single push, every single break, up until that moment, was exactly what Optic Gaming wanted to do. But now FaZe, with a game on the board and maybe some momentum, can they stay alive in the series? series, of course, Optic Gaming still just one game away from resetting the bracket.
Yeah, that's the bigger picture still for Optic here. One game is all they need to reset the bracket and send us to a second best of 7 in our grand finals. So Press is going to get that red gun early on. The Stalker in their control. As attention now moves towards the camo. Now a little 1v1 here with Trippy.
Ох, ебать, что творит.
And all of a sudden you're starting to see a couple of FaZe players win those big individual fights.
Absolutely worth noting just how slow the start of this was. We'll have a chance to talk about it after the camo grab, but Renegade gets away with the camo most importantly for Optic Gaming.
His teammates do an amazing job of keeping him alive because he was dodging bullets left and right. FaZe knew that he was somewhere, but weren't able to spot him out. He's also got the Stalker rifle in his hands, and FaZe are moving here.
Trying to bait the camo out. Trying to waste the time and see if they can... They don't know.
Finds one, turns two. Renegade with a double kill here. It might be a triple. All 4 dead for FaZe. A beautiful push from Optic Gaming.
Beautifully done there. And
Охуеть.
to bait out the camo timing and play into theirs as opposed to using PD, but they get involved in the A battles, and when you do that, you can no longer try to eagle eye the camo, and Renegade plays it perfectly. The rest of Optic plays it perfectly, and now they have this 11-6 lead.
Okay, weak at the back of the tower as well as a killing spree bound. 5-1 for him at the start of this game. And 5 without response since that death.
Dangerous scenes here for FaZe because it feels like all the momentum off that last game, 7-kill deficit, and Optic doubling their score so far has all but been erased.
I mean, Bound is being the ultimate bait here. Every time no shields, the base player moves in to clean him up, he just pushes them away with that repulse.
That repulse felt very on brand for Bound's personality.
It really did.
Nice little trolly. Give me just a second, I'll be right back with you.
Puma versus Penguin. Penguin's going to win that one, just dancing around the palm trees. There's still a 6-kill advantage here. Make that 7 for Optic. As FaZe steal away the camo. Tao's the last player alive here. Optic sees 4 more. Has to take the fight due to the fact that he's already going to be seen as that camo was just taking a second to come back and get full coverage. And Optic will shut that down.
Yep, Val trying to do everything he can, as you said in 1v4. He'll be happy to have burned the camo, but as 4 will fall for FaZe, Optic still essentially just about doubling their score of their opponent's score at this point of the game.
Stalker in the hands of Renegade as well. What a push that is, Penguin, by the way. Wow. Close to 4 kill on the map. Play with the Stalker rifle, they deal with. Penguin looking to move in, but slightly aggressive in that situation. Maybe thought there was more damage than there was. And Optic will hold and take down 2 FaZe players once again. 26-14 the score.
I agree, it was a good aggression there from Penguin, but definitely thought that maybe the team comp on the map was differently to fly, not just through tires, but to fly laundry bottom mid front A. Essentially gets absolutely melted right away, so maybe a little bit of difference in understanding in the comms of exactly how much damage had been done and where. Even though we're seeing FaZe start to trade out just a little bit more and bring the game back within some sort of reason, it's still 27-16.
The trade's on going to win the game here for FaZe. They need to get in a position where they're going 3 for 1, even 4 for 1 in some of these pushes. It's very difficult to do with a team that's so disciplined in these situations like Optic. Optic just know they have to stay close enough to trade each other's kills.
Bound, by the way, 10-3.
FaZe, ну давайте уже, ну. Ай-яй-яй-яй.
Over triple positive, not something we say every game, let alone every grand final.
Put it into context. FaZe have 17 kills. Bound has contributed to 16 kills. If you add those assists alongside the kills he already has. 3 dead though for Optic Gaming. Legend might be going down as well, but he still gets out of this situation with not just 1 kill, but 2.
Wait.
Trippy in the 1v1 versus Legend. Somehow Legend wins that.
Это пипец.
Take it, frame it, put it in a museum. If that doesn't sum up what Legend will do to your team as the last player alive, I don't know what does. And as a result,
Да.
lead by 10 again.
We hear the Let's Go Optic chant start as well. I want to know what that is in French. My French isn't great, but they're going to have to learn it soon because Legend has been unbelievable in those last player alive situations. No right to come out of that with 1 kill. A trade would have been brilliant. It takes 3 down from FaZe.
Can't let that happen. That's the type of sequence where you're watching the first kill and you go, shouldn't have gotten that one. Definitely shouldn't have gotten that one. And for the third one, I mean, that was just icing on the cake. 37-29.
Optic just just got to not make mistakes here, and they will reset the bracket.
Almost in no rush. Love it. He's going to screen watch here.
Hey, take it. When you're in the cafe,
Take your
sometimes it's
time.
nice to just put your feet up.
This is not a takeaway.
Get yourself an oat milk latte.
This coffee is for here.
I feel like Forman's more of a cold brew kind of guy. 38-29. Renegade finds another FaZe member to add to his tally. Suppress no shields. Formal finds him as well. The FaZe are falling at the moment like dominoes. They're wilting a little bit here. They're down by 10. Optic only need 10 to send us to that second best of 7.
I knew the nade was coming and then just scurries away right after the nade. Blows up. Beautifully timed yet again. And as you say, 9 kills to go for Optic Gaming, and with an 11-kill lead, it really is just a victory lap for them here.
Camo's going up as well when they get that first kill once again in the team fight.
Капец, конечно.
Opportunity to try and get behind enemy lines here. All eyes on the Camo here for FaZe. All eyes on kills here for Legend. He'll win that one as well. It's another double kill for him. He's 12-6. Double positive in this game.
With 10 assists, by the way, double the assists of anyone else on the team. With a stat line like that, it's easy to just hold away.
Trippy down. Formal picks up another one. It's just 3 to go now. As Legend tries to hold off 2 members of FaZe. If there's anyone that's doing those, the work we've seen so far in this game is probably Sabri.
29 on the board, just 1 kill to go here for Optic Gaming.
Trippy gets 1, but it's not going to be enough. Formal closes out, and Optic Gaming send us to a second best of 7. Optic reset the bracket. And now it's a shootout between FaZe and Optic as to who will be your champions here at DreamHack.
They do it again. And on Championship Sunday, we do not find more Halo bring on the second best of 7. Optic Gaming, it only took 5 games. They send us the distance and 1 more series for the trophy here in Dallas.
Only the 1 game FaZe managed to get on the board there. And only 1 game that really felt like they had a chance in. The other 3, it was complete domination. Excuse me, the other 4, it was a complete domination from Optic Gaming, who just looks set and ready to lift that trophy you can see in your screens right now. But we also see sometimes some funny things, right? The first series can go one way, and then we have a much more competitive second one. Let's go back to Arlington, for example, where Optic ran through Shopify Rebellion in that first best of 7, reset the bracket.
Так, пришлось сделать все чай и тортики свежие.
The last second of a game 7 to decide who is going to be your champion. But 50-35, Andy, just incredible.
Not close, and Legend goes 13 once again. 13, 6, and 11 assists. The only player with double-digit assists in the game. And damage led by Bound on the side of Optic Gaming, the only player in the lobby on 4K.
Impressive stuff from all of Optic. Difficult to really pick holes in what we have seen from them so far. The CTF Origin, just a blip, it feels like, as they take game number 1, 4-1 on King of the Hill recharge. 50-45 on Solitude, and then 2-1. But it could have easily been a 2-0, maybe even more for them on that Aquarius neutral bomb. 50-35 to close it out. Optic Gaming, they reset the bracket. Lot, Wes. Optic are looking for a second chip.
They certainly are indeed. It's very reminiscent of what happened the last time around. I will say this is very one-sided, and I'm not really surprised by that, to be perfectly honest with you. And I think we had a picture-perfect example of that the last time in Arlington. And it can be very difficult, I will say. I'm going to give something to FaZe, and on the side, getting that CTF across the board 3-0, that was clean. That was a nice little pit stop there, just to show us you have signs of life. And honestly, that's what I was looking for in this first best of 7. I wasn't necessarily thinking that FaZe were going to come right out of the gates and totally knock Optic off of that main stage. I'll be real with you. So to see signs of life is promising, but I will say Optic, they have momentum. And not only that, Wes, they are just gaining the firepower. Every single member of the team has stepped up in whether it's whatever map or mode or moment. They are having these huge kills that are just opening up the map. And FaZe, they just don't know what to do with it. It's just too much. So how are you feeling about Optic right now and their chances at really doing this once again
I mean,
in the
it's
next
deja
one?
vu. It's deja vu all over again from Arlington. This is an Optic team that nobody seems to have an answer on how to stop, how to actually eliminate this team from a tournament. We saw them hoist the trophy in Arlington, and They look like they're primed and ready to go 7 more games to get another trophy into their hands. And right now, I mean, it's Formal that's the difference for me. His damage so far today has been unbelievable. And it's like that Royal 2 Anchor-esque position where you got Bound and Legend flying in. You got Renegade creating some space for him. And if the pressure is off Formal as far as, like, gunplay, then Formal's going to lay down enough damage for those guys that have this success that we are seeing, and that is a dangerous optic, as you can see from the scoreline, 4-1.
I've got to say, Wes, picture perfect with that, because Formal, not only is he just doing his role well, he's doing it and some. The anchor that is coming from him is unbelievable, just peppering with shots, the damage that is coming across. I'm really curious to see where we're at in terms of the graphic between him and Renegade, because I mean, he is not only...
To do much.
Ну, ребятки продолжают. Что я открыл, господи? А? О! Ты получил вот это классная тема. Жалко. Не получу уже. Может и получу, не знаю, посмотрим. Какие-то 3 мужика сидят. Один из них в телефоне втыкает, ну ладно. Тихо, не рыгай. Не рожай. Что он делает? Это они практически брови не идут. Офигеть. О, фейс обгонил.
Shout out to the green wall. Shout out to Optic, Hector, Seymour with the F. Seymour, always.
In game type, game mode. It's like, I'll find a way back. Yeah, how do you come back from that? This is your chance, right here. This is FaZe's chance now. Bar miracle, you know. This is FaZe's chance to really solidify their position in the series.
It really is, but I mean, the momentum is real right now. Optic fresh off of game number 1, and they understand what's on the line. They are not going to overlook this FaZe roster. Optic not only want to take this tournament, they want to go back-to-back decisively, and why any
one more game closer to winning the HCS Open.
Optic pressure being put on FaZe time and time again. Even Renegade scamming his life. There's 3 more to go in FaZe. At this point, you have to imagine they're thinking about game 3. There's no path forward. Optic Gaming will secure game 2.
The crowd is going absolutely wild. They are feeling, they
Ну,
know
молодцы,
that Optic is
молодцы.
only 2 games away from holding the HCS Open trophy here at DreamHack. And how cool is it that we get to have FaZe and Optic in the finals when we have other games like Call of Duty in the house too? I feel like we got some fans from other places that know Formal also here in the house, and we got some Spartans also in the crowd. But let's go ahead and talk about this series and how Optic was able to not just gain control but maintain control throughout the series, and the sniper, how pivotal it was for Optic in this game.
I think the sniper's been very important the entire time, and something I really want to point out is what Jules had mentioned, right? It's the fact that FaZe are not able to, again, keep track of these Optic gaming numbers. Optic is able to take routes and get the first shot on many players from FaZe, and off that one kill, everyone else falls. And when you add a sniper to that equation, and Legend is not missing like he's not doing here, it makes it even more difficult. So FaZe essentially just found themselves in a blender that they just couldn't escape.
That was a 10-kill lead that they were able to maintain and not just extend beyond a 10-kill lead and guarantee themselves that second game. But now we're moving on to Aquarius CTF. Does FaZe Clan have a chance here to stop Optic's momentum?
It's going to depend on their team shot. It's just Optic is just so efficient at being able to help each other. We saw it on the replay clips. Legend has Sniper over on Pine Street. He's looking at elbow where players are spawning, right? It's premium Sniper team. I mean, players dream about that position on the map with Sniper. He hears a comm, right? Look at this. The way that he plays with these snipers is just so fun to watch because of how he's listening towards what his teammates need. So he's going to come over here to Sniper Street. This is perfect positioning to take ahead, but instead he listens to Renegade, and Renegade needs help. Boom, bang. Now let's get back to the position and hit the more difficult shot. It's incredible to watch what he's been able to do, and it's because of the help that Optic Gaming have, I think is going to make it so hard for FaZe. Yeah, 100% agree. Legend is not one of those players who's thinking, oh, he's going to grab the snipe. You've got Val, you've got Renegade, you've got Formal, who can snipe really well. You don't really expect Legend to take that. He's that high damage dealer, bandit in hand. He ran out of ammo, I believe, in one of his matches and had to use a plasma pistol because he ran out of bandit ammo. He still got the kill. Like, you don't see Legend using the sniper. When you do, it's poetry in motion. That was beautiful in that sequence. And mind you, get back to this question too. I mean, looking at Aquarius leg, you want to see the saving grace for FaZe, yeah, but I mean, as well, we got one more player in front of you. He doesn't have their shield. Falcon is shutting down Optic. That's the return, and that should be a second tap. Should be a fight that comes on. Falcon is just causing a complete nuance for Optic Gaming to deal with this. I mean, Falcon is still alive. As they are trying to get him down.
The rest of FaZe is able to at least get up on the map. 90 seconds for FaZe to find one more flag to at least force an overtime.
So Press thought he had the angle over towards the P side, thought the Falcon distraction was enough, but somehow Optic have eyes on every single corner of the map.
Press, I don't think he understands that there's so much freedom right now. No one from Optic's looking for him. He's completely isolated on the opposite side. He's going to take that cross map shot against Bound. That's going to reveal his position. And they're going to take him down. Suppress was in such a strong spot, being behind them, but with him getting down, Optic will just take map control.
One cap advantage here for Optic Gaming and less than a minute on the clock, which feels like a must-win game for FaZe. But right now, falling left and right, there's one more player, and Penguin is trying to make a sneaky play alongside Falcated, but Formal and Optic are pressing forward.
It's important for Optic not just to push without guaranteeing a kill. You don't want to overextend too far and open up an opportunity for FaZe to win a fight. And oh, Trippy won a big one. That's Suppress is already here. He's able to pull the flag out. Optic Gaming have no cover. The third flag is back. It's coming back home.
A fantastic defensive effort by FaZe leads to Suppress running this flag from util to util. He goes, but is anybody from Optic in a position to stop him?
This is not a run to get the flag home, but rather a run to give them time to get this camouflage and secure this game. Trippy and Renegade and Legend both control the base of FaZe.
Sudden death activated, but so is Suppress. He takes down one, and so does Legend. FaZe force us into an overtime.
Great plays at the end at recognizing that you didn't have to force the flag home. Renegade and Legend overextended too far. FaZe understood the assignment, worked their way back, and, well, that's clean.
Not done yet, though. It's only overtime. It's one cap to take it here, and Optic go on an immediate break.
That's going to be camouflage. That's going to be free for Formal to grab. Suppress will not be able to do anything. You think that's FaZe's base? No, that's Optics. He's completely out of the fight.
Formal with this camouflage continues to put down extra damage on the rest of FaZe. Falcon does take down Boundo, and Penguin follows it up. Where's the flag?
Falcon was able to step on it. Formal had too much work to do. FaZe was able to find a couple massive kills to at least slow Optic down enough to buy one more chance.
Legend's already made his way towards that util side, and you're now working with Formal. Right now, it seems like FaZe are trapped in their base. Penguin, though, with a absolute, what do you call it, a dot of a nade?
He got it right through, and now it's 3 players from Optic Gaming that are able to get into the base of FaZe, but they need more. These kills need to come through, and they just don't. FaZe have been so strong on their defensive stance in their base. They keep having each other's help at the most important time.
Suppress makes his way towards the mid side, and a double melee somehow takes down Renegade without going down himself. Puts a little bit of extra damage on there as FaZe continue to press forward.
Suppress continues to be an agent of chaos for FaZe, and Falcated. That's the man that has the highest KD at the event. You can tell he just got another one on Renegade as well. He completely destroyed Formal and has opened up an opportunity for FaZe.
Double push by Optic, though, to defend their base. To switch gears over towards Formal, and I see that active camouflage is coming up, and FaZe have a lot of map control.
Have that map control as players from Optic are just waiting for that push. A push that's just not coming. They're focused on that camo instead. 2 players aiming at it. Doesn't matter. Falcon got away, and Trippy takes advantage of those players looking elsewhere, but no kills for FaZe. Optic Gaming are slowing them down. Optic Gaming continue to win their fights. Optic Gaming have to find the camouflage of Falcated. It's the only player that can cause them problems.
Here comes Falcated. He spots Legend taking minimal damage, forcing Legend out. And this is exactly what FaZe needed. But Bound with another prediction grenade that connects, and Penguin with a backsmack that might just end Optic.
Penguin couldn't get the curbside off. Instead has to go through the util, but dodge the grenades. He's on his way back home. Where's the overextends? All the players of Optic Gaming are down low on the map. And FaZe, they're slowing themselves down. They're working on Slays instead. They want to make sure this is 100% guaranteed, and they're doing it.
But just because you get it in the util side doesn't mean it's a guaranteed cap. The nades just too much.
The players of Legend and Formal got through, and that flag, it's not going to get returned now, but Renegade on that long-ranging flank. This is counter cap opportunity for Optic Gaming.
Flag in the hands of Formal. Legend on the attack. That's a full squad wipe. Here's the return. Here comes Formal. Optic may have just took their 3rd in a row.
From the brink of defeat, Formal, Legend team together to create opportunity, and they're 1 game away.
The crowd roars.
1 game away indeed, and like Tony said, the crowd is going wild. There are so many people here, and it looks like even the Spartans have joined. There's a Spartan with a green sword cheering for the green wall and commandeering the entire arena. It is absolutely incredible how big the green wall is here. Look at the mass of people that we have cheering for the Optic Gaming, and that has to be helping them right now, especially going into this game 4. There's no way they're not hearing the green wall right now, but we have to talk about this game, this Aquarius CT to win the game, and it was lost there at that util side. Let's look at the replays.
I mean, this was his chance, right? This was Penguin's chance to get that flag in. But you see again, it's Legend and Formal. That's the second time in this game that they found their way inside of FaZe's base, and they just caused chaos in there. And then again, you just get pinched. You have Renegade, the first spawner, he comes through, and then it's all dipsy-daisy from there. It's a counter cap easy as pie, and you hate to see it. FaZe had a chance.
This, Formal going to bring that back home, but when you look back at how they get to that situation, this is because FaZe is too overloaded on one side. They're overloaded on the car side on that original flag run. What that does is it opens up a route for Optic Gaming. They hit through that P side. 2 players hit a pure overextension. 2 players went to the middle of the map to try to stall. They were able to stall it out because FaZe decided to try to win those slays instead of peeking that flag forward. Those 2 players imprint themselves into back base. Now, think about what's happening on the map. Renegade comes off spawn. He spawns towards the util site. He's working in his flank as those players of Optic Gaming start to work back through, and then the spawners of FaZe are now getting that P-side spawn that Optic had opened up. It disjoints FaZe on the map. They no longer have that presence towards util where that flag is stuck. Instead, Optic Gaming have complete control of that side. They're able to flow the map through, and it's one of the best flag runs you'll see.
What I keep seeing is FaZe putting in a lot of work in order to be able to get scores on the map. And the work they did to be able to tie the game 3-3 at the very end was impressive. But it's Optic that ends up closing it. They put a lot of work in that game 1, and now here in this flag, I feel like this game should have been FaZe's.
Yeah, it feels really unfortunate because it feels like the FaZe that we're seeing here in this bracket reset has been quite impressive, but even Optic stepped their game up further as well, and every single answer that FaZe seemed to find, somehow Optic, they bring up a new question.
Well, Optic is 1 game away from holding the HCS Open trophy, and it is in Solitude where this might be happening. Does FaZe stop Optic, or will Optic Gaming be holding the trophy in just a few minutes? Solitude, what are their chances?
King in the Hill, Solitude. And will it be the final time that we see FaZe? FaZe have been fighting so well, so strong here in the bracket reset, better than we saw them before, but Optic just looked different.
This Optic Gaming roster might be the most resilient in Halo's history. I think about what this team has had to do. Their first championship came from lower bracket round 1. This championship, that's 1 game away from them, might start from the same position. They've had games that felt down and out. They come back. They refuse to quit at any point in time. Championship caliber play is what we have come to expect from Optic Gaming.
FaZe looking to stop another miracle run by Optic Gaming, and with back-to-back kills from Trippy and suppressed on the driveway side, they're starting on the first hill.
3 down. Optic Gaming will not be able to get early time into this hill. Instead, having to deal with the early aggression, but Renegade with that shock rifle down low. Trippy trying his best to get that kill. It will go down. Penguin with that double, and that is devastating for Optic. They've lost the only piece of the equation that was going in their favor early in this game.
FaZe able to cover so much ground on their way here to the mid side. However, not much hill time just yet, and Renegade and Optic prioritizing C.
Players trying to hit out towards that net side. They know that shock rifle can't stay in the hands of FaZe, and they've been able to win this lane of the map. Formal pushes through the middle, and although FaZe had complete control, Optic Gaming decisive with their movements, get themselves in scoring position.
Legend plays his life long enough to find the spawning players from FaZe, and some great damage now across the map turns into a direct route right through Tram. Optic meeting FaZe where they live.
Really great recognition from Legend to see the split spawns happen. Completely eviscerates the 2 that were at loop, and it's just slowing FaZe down by a considerable amount.
Weak and Formal, but with this camouflage, absolutely juking 3 down. Go for
feelings whatsoever towards Z, as long as I think he does the right thing and removes that video, and then just sits down and has a conversation about it. You don't even need to do the third part, but like, that video has to get removed, in my opinion, to avoid very potentially catastrophic circumstances and eventualities. Like, Mega Constructs News, while and I used to cover leaks all the time, but the more we had conversations with the the companies involved, the more we realized that is a detriment to the success and longevity of the brand. So I hope you guys hear me out. I hope you guys understand, and I will continue to do nothing but promote the very best of this brand. We've got a lot of really exciting videos and archive videos coming soon, and a really exciting amount of new information. I'm just getting like spammed with messages. Come on, Kevin, I'm so close to the end of this. Come on, Benji, come on. No, I mean, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff coming soon, and there is ample reason to get excited about this brand without covering at this point, fairly baseless rumors and leaks that could very easily be fake images. I just think it's very, very counterproductive. So that's my piece. Nothing but love, nothing but respect to you all and to Z. He's a legacy member of this community.
Оптики выиграли.
But yeah, I've said my piece. Really hope you enjoy. I thought you're not going to enjoy this video.
Оптики выиграли,
Shout out to you all.
оптики
Also, stay
выиграли.
tuned